Sabres playoff hockey is brought to you in part by Brewery Fresh Budweiser, who reminds you fresh beer tastes better. By Dodge, the new Dodge. See your Team Dodge dealer today. And by 1-800-COLLECT, the way we call collect today.
Well, this guy should have butterflies flitting from one end to the other, but the outward countenance at least belies no sign of that as Steve Shields will start the game tonight for the Buffalo Sabres. Coming on instead of the injured Dominic Hasek, and Ron Tuckner is, of course, going to be back in there again for what it was. He has shouldered the load most of the way down the stretch drive and into the playoffs. Referee Mick Magoo, Danny Shackney, and Mark Wheeler are the linesmen. And Magoo will run the puck at center ice between Yashin and Pekka, who taps it back all the way to Shields. He'll let it fly and picked off by Schmelik. Schmelik waiting back there. Now he slips it over to Pekka again. Pekka tapping it through center, but this one is going to slide down the ice. No ace in. Lokinen after it. Lokinen guns it around. Kept in there by Buffalo. Daw trying to pry it free. Stuff back in the corner. Bonk flips it up on the wing. Yashin can't get it out. Sabres keeping it in, at least momentarily. Ward pried it free, and it's chopped back into the corner again. Held in by Buffalo. Daw dropping it off. Pekka after the puck. Back to the point. Sidnick Van Dyke. Here comes Yashin away to center. Yashin working in over the line with McEachern. Yashin looking in front of the net. Feeds it right beside the net. Taken away by Sidnick. Sidnick kicking out of the corner, but the Senators fly it free. Got it out in front. Shot right on by Alfredson. That's cleared away into the corner. Yashin holding it into McEachern, turning around. McEachern dropping it off in front of the net. Alfredson poked it back into Yashin. He bumps with Schmelik, who took it away. Rolled it around on the other side, but not out. They'll ship it back along the boards again, and it's jammed down low once again by Alfredson. He'll leave it there, and now the Sabres break it up. And Pekka, who's been out there a long time, finally gains center ice, flips it in, and heads off for a rest. There's Buchanan recovering to Alfredson. His pass through the middle, went behind Chorsky, who just knocked it out to center ice. Wilson recovering. Wilson banking it up to Grosek, but he couldn't get away. And Wilson runs over top of Alfredson, but it's brought back in with Zoltok. Shot off the goal post. Smacked that one off the pipe, but it comes to center. Buffalo trying to come back. But quickly after it is York. Backed off the board, sent to center ice. Wilson is there to catch up and flip it in the other direction, off the linesman and into the Buffalo bench.
Well, our Vicks discount scratches include Dominic Hasek, of course, Jay McKee, and Matthew Barnaby, who was very close to playing. He did take the pregame skate tonight. Denny Lambert, a surprise scratch. Phil Crow in the lineup. One thing you will see tonight is Ottawa shooting the puck high. They feel they can beat Shields upstairs because he does like to go down. Zoltok rang this shot off the crossbar. Bit of a change. Yashin had Radek Bonk on left wing along with McEachern on the other side. So we'll see if that change continues through this game.
We were talking about Shields figuring him that way. That's from the book on top of that, too.
That's right. The Sabres have scored and upstairs on him.
He swings it around on the boards. It's short free, but it's kept in by Van Allen. Burridge got in front of that. Cunneyworth holding it in. Slipping it over on the other side. It's back behind the net. King picking it off. Watched by Galley. Left back behind the goal. Bubner kicks it up onto a stick. Now gets tied up with Van Allen in the corner. Cunneyworth came in there, but it squirts out to center ice. Back in the other direction for York. He cleared it through the middle, and Bubner got over on the play. The Senators with York trying to get away. Works it back through the middle. It's chipped in over the Buffalo line. Bubner catching up with it. Cunneyworth chasing him. Sent around to the boards to Burridge. Burridge takes a peek. His pass went through center. It's cleared in over the line and tapped down the ice now. Sabres keeping it in there. Holzinger racing after it. Trying to clear it out in front, but couldn't control it. And coming back, Ottawa. Cunneyworth flips it in over the line. Pitlick moves up on the flag. Pitlick turning in the corner. Still got the puck. Got it out in front. Shields the save and knocks away the rebound. Schmelik ripping it around on the glass. To the line, but not out. Pitlick keeping it in there. Now it's taken away in the corner, and the Senators will hold it in by poking it right on to Schmelik's stick. Schmelik banks it around to Audette, and he doesn't get it out. Long shot, steered away in front of the net. Galley after it again. He gets bumped by Dackel, but Galley knocks it free, and Burridge will take the pressure off by dealing it down the ice. 3.5 minutes into this opening period. The Senators have the only 3 shots on goal. None have entered the net.
Bocchione's got a breakaway, but bring it in goal. He scores!
On April 24th, the Alzheimer's Association of Western New York honors the memory of the voice of the Sabres, Ted Darling. Join them at the 3rd Annual Blue Moon Gala, held in the beautiful Rich Renaissance, as they honor NHL Hall of Famer Ted Darling and raise money to battle Alzheimer's. If you'd like to purchase tickets, please contact the Alzheimer's Association at 716-831-7084 or 800-273-6737.
Our Citgo go-to guy this evening is defenseman Steve Duchesne with 3 points in the series, including a game-winning goal in Game 2. He's very dangerous, likes to join the rush, and is extremely good at moving in from his point position to the front of the net. And if you think they're not hockey crazy here in Ottawa, they are.
I don't think I'd label myself crazy. That's really asking for it, isn't it? Hi, look at me. I'm crazy. There's the puck behind the net. Smelly feeding it off the boards. It'll be gunned through center, and the Senators will get it back again. And then he tried to catch up to his man, but Yashin starts away. This long shot. Shields handling that one, and he couldn't find anybody to give it to safely, so he hangs on to it.
Now Ted Nolan with an opportunity now to send the Pekka line onto the ice to match up against Yashin. So this is a change tonight as far as Jacques Martin is concerned, though. He's moved Radek Bonk up on left wing with McEachran and Yashin. Gartner, the rookie, had been taking that position. And Ted Nolan will try to get Pekka against this line at every opportunity. Jacques Martin tried to get Yashin away from Pekka the last game, but couldn't do it. And again, I stress, the Sabres are the best team that I've seen in the league at changing on the fly and getting matchups that they want.
Well, we got Primo still up there to take the face-off against Yashin. Winning the draw. Pitlick will hold it in. His shot hit a leg, and he got it right back again. Pitlick reloading, taking the shot. That bounces to the other side. Lokinen keeping it in. Lokinen stuffing it in front of the net. It slides across ice, but not out. Senators holding it in again, and play is called now. The puck was gloved ahead.
One thing that Ottawa wants to do tonight is get more shots on goal. I suppose that goes without saying, but Jacques was saying, he said, we need to shoot the puck more, and the person who doesn't have the puck must go to the net. And that is, to me, a very important point, because he said oftentimes the person who goes to the net is the guy who makes the big play on the goal. Sometimes he doesn't finish or figure in the scoring, but he takes a defenseman with him or gets people out of position.
Well, at the rate they're going right now, we played exactly 4 minutes. They've had 4 shots on goal. That equates to 60 in the game. I think you'd be happy with that.
I think so.
I think Ted Nolan would. And I know Steve Shields wouldn't. Van Allen banks it back in over the line. Shannon took it away, and he got spilled by Cunnyworth. Carrying on, Brochik, back to Chatan. He didn't get his shot away. Duchesne broke it up. Hooked around on the boards again. Plant trying to pinch in, does. Pulsed it into the corner. It's clipped off the boards and sent all the way down the ice. And as Wilson goes back after it, this will be an icing.
I'm sure, too, in the back of Ottawa's mind is guys like Miroslav Chatan and Donald Adet scare them, because Chatan is a goal scorer, Adet is a goal scorer, and they haven't scored, and they're going to break out sometime.
Hurry now to get your season tickets for next year. Sales reps are standing by to answer your call at the season ticket hotline, 855-4130. So Buffalo standing pat for the moment as Zoltok comes out on the face-off against Plant. Early in the first period here at the Corral Center. Back to the point. Smellick, the long shot, knocked down. Brochik couldn't control the rebound. Now he's got it again. Into the corner. Smellick rushes down low. Backhand misses. Round on the boards. Kept in by Brochik again. Senators whipping it up ahead. It'll be tapped back into the corner. York feeding it around to the other side, and the Senators whip it down the ice, and this is Shields who will have to come out and play it away from Alfredson. Got it around into the corner, tipped high in the air, and this one finds its way over the glass and out of play.
One thing you can expect from Steve Shields is very good puck handling. He likes to come out of the net, stop pucks behind the net, and play them up around the boards, and he's very strong on the puck. Dominic Hasek, if you compare the two, is smart with the puck. Steve Shields is very strong as he does things with authority when he passes or tries to shoot the puck from the zone. Dominic Hasek is more of a goaltender who will try to direct pucks into certain areas and start the breakout play. But Shields very sharp in the early going. 4 shots on goal, and he made a couple of point-blank stops.
Well, these fans certainly were not intimidated by the late loss in game number 3. They're still whooping it up. Yashin holding it in for Duchesne with a shot, and Burridge got in front of that. Zitnik cranking it off the boards to center. Too far for Burridge. Duchesne fires it out to center ice. Outstuffed ahead, kicked in over the line. McEachern's got speed, trying to cut in. Zitnik stays right with them. They'll roll into the corner together. Senators holding it in with Falk dropping it off for Yashin. Fired it in front, and Galley steals it away. Galley swinging around. His pass is cleared all the way through center ice. Ottawa with Pachanik giving it away. Up ahead now to Audette. And get a shot away. Gets hammered from behind, and McEachern will go. First penalty of the game will go to the Ottawa Senators. And then Galley comes in and spills his check, Yashin.
Well, Buffalo with the opportunity on the power play. One of our keys in this series is neutral zone play. And Ottawa, sloppy in the neutral zone, turned it over. Audette broke in to the Ottawa end, and McEachern cross-checked him. And so the Sabres with an early opportunity. Here's the play right here. See the turnover? And Audette picks it up. 4 Senators caught outside the line. And McEachern with a cross-check on Donald Audette. And the reason we talk about the neutral zone, Buffalo, one of the best teams in the league at scoring on the transition. In other words, when the opposition turn the puck over, Buffalo charges into the zone for the scoring chance.
Van Allen is out to do some penalty killing for the Senators on the face-off against Pekka. Tipped down, sent back to the point to Galley. Cleared it in front of the net, but it's deflected away, and it'll be brought right back out by Cunningworth. Cunningworth in over the line. He leaves it there, and Pekka is there to pick up the drop pass. Round to Galley, flipping it to Shannon. Bounced away from him. Chatan to Shannon. Shannon drops it off to Chatan again. Chatan for Daw. Daw stepping away from Van Allen and looking for room as he comes through center and drills one in. Tugnut kicked it away, but he kicked it right to Pekka. That's broken up. It comes to center ice. Cunningworth trying to get away, and Pekka was back quickly to prevent that from happening. Pekka cannot scoop it around on the boards, and it's held in by the Senators, but taken back by Galley. Gary Galley with the Senators changing, coming to center. Ripping one in. Skips around into the corner. Lokinen tipped it right to Shannon, who boots it back into the corner again. Holzinger. Oh, he fed it behind the net, but there's nobody there except Duchesne, who can't get it out. Kept in by Buffalo, and a pass missing. Holzinger. Holzinger trying to get it to Daw again. Daw with the puck in behind the goal. Leaves it back there. There's a chance now to Daw for Chatan. Trying to whip it to the corner. Came right out in front. That's deflected behind the net. It pops around on the other side. Holzinger. Holzinger rolling back to the point. Holzinger still with the puck. Feeds it back into the corner. Takes a return pass. Trying to dribble across to Shannon. Shannon scoops it over on the other side. Here's Galley firing it across ice, and that deflects off an Ottawa stick right into the Senators' bench. Seconds remaining in the McEachern penalty.
Great penalty killing by Ottawa, and what they're doing is they're really forcing Gary Galley and the Buffalo point men, causing turnovers and bad plays at the line. Watch what happens here. These are the guys that we're talking about. You see this? As they come right on, and the Buffalo Sabres are having all kinds of problems. Look, there's 3 players up there forcing the Sabres all the time, and the puck ends up in the Ottawa bench.
That'll be fired in by Zitnik, ripped around on the boards. Held in there by Plant when he got hammered from behind by Van Allen. Sabres keeping it in, wheeling it back to Schmelik. On the other side, Zitnik let his shot go, deflected in front of the net. Plant keeping it in. Audette drops it off as he got nailed. Pulled around in the corner. Redden dribbles it on the boards, but not out. Shipnick keeping it in, working down low again. Shipnick curling around in the corner, sending it behind the net. Matt got it out in front, and it went all the way to center. And Ottawa's back at full strength. Right ahead for Shipnick again, trying to pull away. He is denied by Yashin. Well, jumped up for Plant. He gets squeezed off the play, and the Senators fire it through the middle. Shipnick broke it up. Shipnick bumping with McEachern, who recovers. McEachern's pass to Cunningworth on the other side. He'll clear one off into the corner. Shipnick getting it back. Shipnick turning, lost it, but he knocked it up in the air to May. May coming with Primo. A pass to Primo, too far for him. It slides into the corner. Lokkonen catches up with it. Lokkonen fires it ahead, and that one goes off McEachern all the way down right to Shield. They give it to Wilson. Wilson tipping it around to Shannon on the other side. Up through the middle to Primo, looking to get free. Primo to the Ottawa line. He kicks it in and tries to barge in after it. Knocked down by Pachanik. Ray keeping it in there. Ray and Pachanik collide again. This time the Ottawa player went down. May's got it in the corner. May took a shot. That hit a leg. And it's recovered now by the Senators and cleared free up on the wing. Duchesne dealing it through the middle. In over the line. Zoltak left it there. Back to Duchesne. Took his shot. Shields makes the save. May recovering for Buffalo. Going to work it out by getting it up ahead for Shannon. Shannon to center ice, and he took a check, but he knocked it in over the line. Back after it, Redden. Chatan's on him. Senators flipping it ahead. This misses everybody down the ice. Galley catching up with it in the corner. This is icing against Ottawa. No score in the first.
Hey, Denny Brower, show us your bait.
I catch more fish with Bassmaster than anything else. Bassmaster keeps me up on the latest strategies and techniques for finding and catching more fish more often.
Hey, Sean Grigsby, show us your bait.
I wouldn't be caught fishing without Bassmaster magazine. This is where over 500,000 members of the Bass Angler Sportsman Society share their secrets for success.
It's what you know and where you go that counts on the water. As a member of Bass, I depend on the know-how I read in those 10 yearly issues of Bassmaster magazine. But you have to be a member of Bass in order to get it. Hey, you're a member, aren't you?
You're not?
An angler like you ought to be a Bass member. Come on and join us and start packing this in your tackle box.
To join Bass, call 1-800-FISH-652. With your $20 paid membership, you'll receive 10 issues of Bassmaster magazine. Plus, we'll send you this free tackle pack with Pratco's Neon Spot, a copy of the Spinnerbait Bassin book, Berkeley's Ultra Thin Line, and Berkeley's Power Rib Tube. That's 1-800-FISH-652.
Welcome back. We're with Matthew Barnaby, who's very close to making his return, but not in the lineup tonight. Why the decision not to play tonight?
Well, I think we have the advance in the series, so I think we're going to wait one extra game and see how this game goes tonight.
So if it's 2-2, you think you'll play on Friday, but if it's 3-1, you think you won't?
I know I will, Dennis.
You're going to play on Friday, definitely?
I will be playing if it's 2-2. 3-1, probably not. I think we'll wait one more game.
All right, thanks, Matt. Let's go back upstairs to Rick and Jim.
We just heard from Dr. Barnaby on that one. He's determined he's going to play.
Grosek now getting tied up along the wall by Redden, and it's flipped free by the Senators and dribbled down the ice again. Oopner charging after this one in the corner, getting there first, and another icing.
Now, the Senators look a little bit shaky in their own zone, and they have iced the puck 3 or 4 times early in this game. It's very unlike Jacques Martin's hockey club, and that might be a sign of nervousness. This is the most important game in franchise history. They've had very few players with playoff experience. Their inexperience showed in Game 3 with giveaways in the neutral zone, and then a horrible display by Yashin, Alfredson, and McEachern on Dixon Ward's winning goal.
Zoltak winning this draw. Grosek goes piling into Redden. It's tapped in behind the net. Redden comes up with the puck. And they're giving it to York. York starting away. His pass through center, kicked out of the air. Alfredson knocking it down, and Galley gets it back. Galley sliding behind the net to get rid of Zoltan. Now Galley using the glass. This one is going to make it down the ice, and this is coming back as Redden is there to pick it up.
Now Gary Galley had the right idea. He just wanted to shoot the puck softer off the glass. There really wasn't a play to make up the middle, and neither team wants to force the puck through the middle of the ice.
Come and show your support for the hardest working team in hockey this Friday at 5 o'clock. Live music, food, entertainment in the plaza. between the arena and the parking garage. Sabretooth is going to make an appearance. The cotton candy, ice cream, popcorn vendors, wacky contest to be held, and a lot of fun. And don't forget to wear your Sabres colors to show your Sabres spirit before game number 5 in the Marine Midland Arena Plaza. There's Van Allen and Holzinger in the face-off area. Back in the corner, Zipnik bringing it around for Burridge. Burridge will slide it to the line, not out. However, covering up is Zipnik and his pass through center. Up for Audette. Bouncing puck that's plucked out of the air by Cunningworth. Steered back to the line. It'll be chopped into the corner. Burridge swinging it behind the net. Schmelik could not catch up with it. Kept into Van Allen. Van Allen looking in front. Turned in front. Shields made the save, but it was pried free from him. Van Allen keeps it in again. Here's Van Allen dropping it to dig. He lost control, gets knocked down. Big trying to get it again. Senators keeping it in with the pressure on. Van Allen sliding back off the boards. Cunningworth had it taken away by Schmelik. They'll flip it up ahead. Holzinger starting through center. Flipping one in over the line. Audette trying to catch up with it. It's back away from him, and the Ottawa team whipping it up now for Dave. His long shot. Shields handles that one. There's difficulty with it, getting rid of it, and now does to Shannon. Shannon up on the wing to Ward. Ward passed through the middle, didn't get across to Daw. And Ottawa to flip it right back in again. Shannon stuffs it back into the corner. It's tapped off the boards. Wilson flipped it ahead, and Daw helps it down the ice. Too far for Ward. Pitlick getting there first. Pitlick rolled it to the blue line and out. Ottawa's Yashin coming back. Bringing it in over the line. Yashin now halting, trying to flip it in front. Becker got a piece of him. Tap back into the corner. Wilson comes up with the puck. Swings it around on the boards. Ward bumping with Pitlick. Ends up in the corner. It's chopped around behind the net. Shields takes it away for Wilson. Wilson flips it and gets it ahead to Daw at center ice, but Pitlick breaks it up and he backhands it right back in again. Long pass at center to Ward. Ward leaving it. Now in over the line. Here's Daw. Daw trying to get it back to Pekka. Couldn't do it. Kept in with Galley. Flips it in to Pekka for Daw. Daw tied up with Redden in the corner. They pick at the puck. Pride free. Pekka's got it again. Back to the point it comes. Here's Galley clearing it in front. Right in front of the net. He shoved it off. Tolman makes the save on Daw. And it's flipped off the boards to center ice. Dackel coming back. Dackel in over the line. Shields plays it away. Beating it up to Daw, leaving it for Pekka. Pekka and Ward with Daw. In over the line, back to Ward. Called on the offside. Less than 8 minutes remaining here in the opening period. Both teams with great chances, but still no score in game number 4 at the Corel Center.
It's spring, so it's Sears Days, when we dig down for the lowest prices on our top brand names. It's your time to bloom, our time to shine, and it only happens twice a year. Like this Kenmore Super Capacity Plus washer-dryer pair. Save $190. And get 0% finance charge till $1998 on Kenmore washers and dryers. No billing, no payments, no accrued interest till January. So get to Sears Days today. Spring, there's nothing like it. Sears Days, there's nothing like them.
Up, the Senators controlling the play as Alfredson dumps it off. High in the air, Zipnik will chase back after this one. Zipnik watched by Zoltan from up front. Still scoreless here in the opening period. Galley to center ice, trying to dribble it in over the line. It's tipped in over the line. Here's Ray, the shot, and he fired it wide. Around on the boards, Alfredson coming back with Chorsky. That's rolled off into the corner. Chorsky after it, got it out in front, put it right on Ray's stick. Ray starting away again. He clears it through the middle to Primo in over the line. Primo back and couldn't get the save. Jam behind the net. Senators fire it off the glass to take the pressure off. Zipnik taking it away. He scoots it up to May. May will dump one in. Buffalo starting to make some changes. So is Ottawa. Back behind the net. Ray getting involved by bumping with Pitlick. And the Senators flip it through the middle, down the ice, and This will be another icing call with 6.5 to go here in the opening period.
Buffalo, with the option, or I should say the great advantage of having 4 lines, and I think Ottawa's pretty much cut down to 3 lines. Rob Ray had a great scoring chance, and the Sabres like to play 4 lines, but because of some of the changes that Jacques Martin has made tonight, I don't think we're going to see the Ottawa 4th line too often. And Rob Ray was talking to him this morning. He was saying he's pretty happy, really, with the way his line has played with Primo and Brad May. They've been getting scoring chances. They've been doing their job, and their job is to go in and bang people around and perhaps tire out the defense. And they had 2 excellent scoring chances on the most recent shift on that fella. The Sabres have only 3 shots on goal here in the first. Ottawa with 9.
I don't know. The shot on goal side of the Buffalo board is doing stutter steps.
I think so too. Daw had a shot on goal. Zipnik had one earlier too that they didn't count.
It's kept in now. Wilson took his shot. Kicked that away. Right in front of the net. It's slapped out. Wilson. Nice play to keep it in. Sending it back into the corner. Chipped around on the boards. Work back to the point. Wilson trying to keep it in. Daig knocked it to center. But Shannon is there to help out his defense mate. Shannon tries it for Wilson. Wilson backing it all the way around to Grosek. Grosek flipping it off the boards and getting it out to center to Shatan. Shatan coming in with Shannon. Shatan the shot. Doesn't get through. Knocked down in front of the net again. Kicked away, and they're ruling it. A glove pass by Buffalo.
Boy, Daryl Shannon came out of nowhere to create a 2-on-1. But Miroslav Shatan, when he gets inside the blue line and around the circles, has one thought, and that's to shoot the puck. And why not? He has one of the great wrist shots in the game. Here's the play developed. See the 2-on-1 as Shannon quickly jumped into the hole, but a pretty good job of recovery, though, wasn't it, by Ottawa to get back there. But Shatan did the right thing in attempting the shot. There's Shatan working into position to shoot. Good play by Wade Redden, the young defenseman, to deflect the puck away.
Schmelik banks it off the boards, but Pachanik getting it back. He feeds it up the middle to Yashin. Yashin looking for room, tapping it ahead. McEachern in over the line, going wide. McEachern in the corner. Squeezed out by Schmelik. Yashin trying to get involved. Burridge is there as well. McEachern kicking it free, leaving it to Yashin. Got it in front of the net, but it's taken away, and Holzinger coming back. Holzinger, and he couldn't get it ahead to Daw. Now Holzinger bumped from behind, in over the line. It's offside.
Now this gives Buffalo a chance to get the Pekka line back on the ice. Brian Holzinger having an excellent series. Not only +4, but he's leading the team in scoring with 4 points, a goal and 3 assists. And boy, was his speed ever evident the other night, wasn't it, when he chased down a loose puck in the Ottawa zone and Randy Burridge ended up scoring. So he's one player who is utilizing his outside speed to the best advantage in this series.
Schmelik ducks away from Zoltak, but can't catch up with the puck, and Alfredson drops it off. Here's Pitlick. Sending it ahead to Zoltak. Long shot, nowhere near the net. Chorsky kicks it into the corner. Schmelik and Alfredson bump. Zitnik takes it away. Zitnik, however, is checked from behind. Zoltak, there's going to be a penalty coming up here to Zitnik. Roll to the boards again. Senators trying to control the puck. The Sabres will get back, but Ottawa will now get its first power play of the night.
Alex Zitnik miscued on the puck, and then to recover ended up tripping Zoltak. And this is one thing, Buffalo must be disciplined in this game on penalties. Zitnik losing the puck and then tripping up Zoltak. And when you look at the statistics, special teams, Ottawa, 5 for 19 in power plays, which is over 26%. They were 2 for 8 last game.
2 other games in the National Hockey League tonight in Pittsburgh. Eddie Olczyk has given the Penguins a 2-1 lead over Philadelphia, and the Florida Panthers are leading the Rangers 1-0.
There's the power play. Game 1, 1 for 6, 2 for 5, 2 for 8, and 5 of the 6 goals scored while Senators have enjoyed the man advantage. So they've taken full advantage of that.
Not surprisingly, Yashin is out to take the face-off and gets it back for Duchesne. Duchesne rolling it now. Lokinen, Duchesne shot, and that goes off Wilson and out of play.
Now, 3 times that I've counted in the zone, Yashin has won face-offs in the offensive zone, and there has been a mismatch. So the Sabres are going to have to bear down more against him. Yashin, particularly where this face-off is located, he's very strong and pulling it on his backhand. He's a right-hand shot, so in other words, he'll pull it back to his right to Duchesne. And of course, that's the guy they want to have the puck, either Duchesne or Yashin.
5 minutes remaining in the opening period. This time, Pekka wins the draw. Flipped around in the corner. Ward can't get it out. Chases after it again. But it's knocked down. Lokinen trying to leave it there. Ward didn't get it out. Back to the point. The shot, and Shields got a piece of that one. Stuffed around on the boards, but Keckern keeping it in. Now Wilson sit around on the boards. Shannon spears it ahead, and Ward taps it down the ice. Tugnutt comes out to get the Senators on the rush back again. Up for Yashin. Yashin fumbled it momentarily, finally cleared it in. Shields throws it up on the wing, and it's cleared off Duchesne to center ice. Duchesne turning again, leaves it to Yashin. Yashin then lost control. Wilson tipped it in the other direction. Duchesne getting it back again. Over to Redden. Redden will smack one in. That'll be worked right around to Cunnyworth, leaving it there. Took another whack at it. Wilson gets involved. Oh, trying to pick it up as well. Wilson still kicking away at the puck on the wall. Alfredson digs it free. Picked in by Cunnyworth. Cunnyworth spinning on the wall. He ups it back to York, to Redden, to York again. York to Redden. Redden doesn't get his shot away. He flips it. It rolls around behind the net. Cannon couldn't pick it out of the air. Yashin's after it again. Stuffs it back into the corner. Tapped around now to Cunnyworth. Half a minute to go in the penalty. Right in front of the net. Yashin didn't connect. Yashin tied up by Wilson. They're still kicking at it back there. Left for Cunnyworth. Cunnyworth to the point to Redden. To Cunnyworth. Flips it in. Yashin behind the net. Looking out in front. And it's deflected and away goes Holzinger. Holzinger racing in over the line. Holzinger trying to cut in the shot. And he fired it wide on the short side. Ottawa coming back again. Zoltak. He hits the Buffalo line and dribbles one in. Shields will bank it all the way around to Burridge, and he flipped it. Didn't get it out. Duchesne keeping it in. Now it's broken up. Chorsky keeping it in there. Sabres are back at full strength. Tapped by Galley on the boards. Burridge trying to take it away from Chorsky. Does. Up it comes now. Flips through the middle to Schmelik. Galley trying to join the play. Back to Galley. Couldn't control it. As Duchesne recovered in time. Duchesne giving it to Zoltak. Can't get it out. Here's Shatan. Fires one off Tugnutt. Senators getting it back again and clearing it down into Buffalo territory. Shields up for Galley. Touch pass to Shatan. In over the line. It bounces into the corner. Gardner after it. Plants all over him. Plant and Gardner and a quiet reel on the wall as Shatan gets in there as well. He'll pile into the corner and finally gain a whistle. A little over 2 to go here in the first period. Still no score.
Are you looking to get a great workout at a great social setting? Then try volleyball again for the very first time. Volleyball Unlimited is now forming leagues for the beginner through the advanced at all of our 8 convenient outdoor sand locations. Also new this summer are teen leagues. Our beginner leagues will supply you with the coaching that will develop your game and have fun all summer long. Call now to receive our newsletter for locations, rates, and dates. Leagues begin in May and June, so call now to reserve your spot on the sand, 685-3859.
Welcome back. Coming up in our first intermission, we'll talk with Sergei Zoltak of the Ottawa Senators. We'll also have a playoff update, check in some scores from around the NHL. And Rick and Jim will have highlights of this first period. Let's go back upstairs.
Now, Buffalo going with their so-called fourth line again, Primo, May, and Ray. And Jacques Martin counters with Alexei Yashin. Ted Nolan told me before this series began that they do not mind this matchup, particularly when the face-off in the Ottawa zone. I think if it was in the other end of the rink, you'd see the Pekka line out there because they're better at moving the puck from the zone than Primo's line is.
A little over 2 to go on the clock here in the opening period. All around behind the net. Ray couldn't catch up with it. May got involved, but it's tapped to the blue line. Now banks off a skate right to Yashin. Yashin sliding it through the middle. Bonk picks it off. That is a 2-line pass.
And now Buffalo with a chance to get the Pekka line on the ice. That's the line they would prefer, but if they can't get them, then they'll take the Primo matchup.
This is your chance now to get your season tickets for next year. The season ticket hotline is manned right at this moment. Folks are standing by at 855-4130.
Radek Bach looks like a baseball player with all the gold chains around his neck. You can't see him right now, but he must have about 2 pounds of gold.
It's tapped off into the corner, and charging back after it, Shitnik. He'll leave it there. Pekka swings it around for Daw. Daw trying to get it out, and it finally ends up at center ice. Yashin got spun around, leaving it to McEachern, who promptly gives it away. Shitnik for Galley. Back to Shitnik again. Watched by McEachern. Puts it up on the wing. Daw. Across to Galley again. Galley going to whip one through the middle. Pekka picked it off, and it goes to the goaltender. Tugnut flipping it off into the corner. Pekka trying to keep it in there. Does, at least momentarily. Dackle attempting to get it out. Now Daw gets involved. They'll pile in along the wall. Daw kicking at it, but it squirts free, and it's eased inside the Buffalo line. Senators making a wholesale change. Left to Bugner. Bugner flipping it high in the air. This one dribbles its way down the ice, and oh brother!
Oh boy, that should not have been called icing. Wade Redden took a sweet time getting back there, but the faceoff will be in the Buffalo zone.
If it was one of the old men, I might understand.
Yeah,
but
it's
not a young whippersnapper like that.
That's right, 19 years old. He could have caught up to that puck fairly easily, but give Redden credit. He played it like a wily veteran.
Like an old man.
Okay. Like you and I would have probably played it, right?
Well, in any event, it sure worked for Ottawa because the faceoff's in Buffalo zone. Zoltak will take it against Holzinger. Still in the circle, scoop free. Zhitnik comes away. Zhitnik, look out, that one will miss everybody. Well, not miss everybody. He got somebody who bought a ticket, but he's happy he's got a souvenir.
Now, Buffalo, though, with only one centerman on the ice here, Brian Holzinger, with 59.1 seconds to go on a very important faceoff. Sometimes Ted Nolan will put 2 centermen out there, 2 experienced guys. Just in case Holzinger, for instance, is tossed from the draw.
Senators keeping it in. Here's Duchesne, the shot, and Shields trapped it, and then holds on to it.
Now, a good job by Ottawa. First of all, winning the faceoff, and secondly, getting the shot through from Duchesne, and third, going to the front of the net. All of those 3 things happened on the draw. Watch this. Watch the position that Senators get after the puck goes back to Duchesne. As they go to the net looking for a loose puck, 2 players. That was part of the game plan tonight for the Senators. Get the puck through and then go right to Steve Shields.
Less than a minute remaining in the opening period at the Corral Center. Ottawa winning the draw. Duchesne trying to squeeze it in front, but it's tapped out to center ice. Duchesne catching up with it again. He'll flip it ahead. That'll miss everybody. And, well, they got to call this one icing if they called the last one. And they do. Well, tit for tat.
Was Richard Smellick chasing it back like an old man. So the face-off at the other end of the rink. Sorry, Richard, you're not an old guy. Smellick teamed with Alex Zhitnik. Very solid defense pairing for Buffalo, but they make a change here as Buchner and Galley step onto the ice. Richard almost scored the winning goal the other night as he was right on the doorstep of the goaltender Tugnut, banging away at the puck. It came loose, and Dixon Ward put it home, and Buffalo won 3-2 with 19.1 seconds to go.
So Plant will try and win this one to get it back to Galley and let him fire away. Kick away at it. It dribbles right onto Plant's stick again. Getting behind the net, squeezed out. Grosek gets involved in the mix. Here's Shatan, and he taps it to the other side. Cannon pinched in to keep it in there, and now the Senators flip it, but don't get it out. Grosek keeping it in. Shatan's wild shot. Knocked down by York and sending it away at center. Honeyworth will elect to send one in around on the boards. Grosek flipped it, didn't get it out. It's cleared to an open wing. Galley will just scoop it free. Getting it up to York at center, and York got the lumber up on Grosek as Grosek went in and tried to tag him, but it was ruled a glove pass in any event. We're down to only 5 seconds remaining in the period.
I was talking to Michael Grosek this morning. He was saying, he said, boy, this is, of course, his first playoff experience. He said, I could never play 82 regular season games like this playoffs have gone. He said, you're so tired after a game, you're sore, your body aches. And I said, well, that's the way you're supposed to feel in the playoffs.
Here's Zhitnik trying to make something out of the dying seconds, but it's not going to work out to his satisfaction as the period comes to an end.
Well, as we expected, Ottawa came hard at Buffalo early, and Steve Shields made some big stops. But the Sabres, from about the 10-minute mark on, certainly had their moments against Tugnutt. So all in all, I think a pretty good period, and Buffalo accomplished everything they wanted to, except the scores tied.
Took the Sabres a while to get a shot on goal, but they eventually ended up with 5. The only trouble is the Ottawa Senators had 11. However, as you take a look at a gym parking lot outside the gym, Corral Center, no score on Empire.
Howard Grossman does one thing better than anyone else. He plays the game of blackjack and wins big time. But to casino owners, he's not only good, he's dangerous. In fact, he needs a disguise to play blackjack at virtually every major casino. All because he figured out how to beat the odds. People have gladly spent hundreds of dollars just to learn Howard Grossman's secrets. And now you can learn from the master himself in his tell-all video, The Secrets of Blackjack, which can now be yours for just $19.95, but only through this exclusive TV offer.
You have 12. The dealer's up card is 2. What do? You hit once, and I'll show you why.
You'll learn everything you need to know to win. Call now and we'll include the handy reminder card absolutely free. Our guarantee, if you don't at least double your money, we'll gladly refund your purchase.
2 off to 18. Most people would stand. Those people are wrong, and I'll show you why.
Call now to order and see how easy it is to win.
Sabres Playoff Hockey is brought to you in part by your local Chevrolet Geo dealers. Cars you can trust from people you can depend on. And by Tops Friendly Markets. Tops never stop saving you more.
Yeah, we're back here at the Corral Center just prior to second period action, checking out the stats. The hits belong to the Ottawa Senators, the face-offs to Buffalo, and the scoring chances, they're a toss-up.
Now on face-offs, offensive zone for Ottawa, though, they certainly won a number of key face-offs in the Sabres zone. So I'm sure that was addressed by the coaches during the intermission.
And our goaltenders in this hockey game met before in a big hockey game, in fact, in a big series. And that was last year's Calder Cup final in the American League. Steve Shields with Rochester and Ron Tugnutt at the other end with the Portland Pirates.
And that was a series, of course, both goaltenders excelled, but Steve Shields was a little bit better as Rochester won the Calder Cup. Of course, another player very prominent in that series, along with Steve Shields and Ron Tugnutt, was number 15 for the Sabres, Dixon Ward, who was voted the most valuable player of the Calder Cup and led the playoffs in scoring. And Ward, in Game 3 here in Ottawa, scored the most important goal of his career. He said, you know, I've scored a lot of goals last year and to help Rochester win the Calder Cup, but he said I wouldn't trade the one I scored the other night for any of them.
I don't think so.
No. 19.1 seconds showing on the clock, and Dixon put it in. He was saying that he was a little disappointed, his line, Pekka and Daw, that they haven't generated more offense, and they want to get going offensively. And Dixon said they maybe start being a little more aggressive. I think we've seen that. They certainly were aggressive when they scored to win that game, and they're trying to get the offense going, but so far haven't been that successful. Of course, the first period ending 0-0, that's not unusual. There's only been one goal scored in the first period throughout this series. Now we expect to see some goals here in the second and then in the third.
Look at that, three games, 13 goals. Brother.
Well, if you like defense, you've got it in this series from Jacques Martin, of course, and Ted Nolan. You know, the players this morning were talking about the lack of space when they say when you pick the puck up down there, there's somebody on you. And, of course, that's the reason we haven't had many goals.
Redden will put one in now. Schmelik hustling back after it. And right off the bat, the Senators get nailed.
Now, a lot of icings in the first period. This was a familiar theme, defensemen going back for the puck. And I think one of the reasons for that, too, both teams, particularly Ottawa, does not want to force the puck through the middle of the ice. And what's happening is wingers like Daniel Alfredsson, for instance, if the play isn't there up the middle, they're just clearing it off the glass, and they're taking the icing calls. But particularly from Ottawa's point of view, they iced the puck more than Buffalo in the opening 20.
Now the Sabres will send out Shannon and Wilson, even though only 8 seconds have been played. But on the other hand, the Ottawa team is going to switch up front as they get the action line out there.
Well, the Sabres have Pekka out there. And of course, they want Pekka against Yashin, but they also want Daw and Dixon Ward.
Pekka took a quick shot that goes wide of the net. Bonk. Trying to jam it out and does so successfully. Wilson scooting across. Now to Pekka, beating it up ahead. Shannon couldn't catch up with that one. Here's Pekka carrying on in over the line. Pekka, the shot, he flipped it in front, and Ward couldn't knock it down. Away to center, McEachern. McEachern now in over the line, leaving it there. Quick shot, shoots, to save the rebound. He makes the save again. And the puck is covered up along the wall, and a great opportunity for Ottawa, but Shields comes up sparkling. We'll slide down now for Dennis Williams.
Thanks, guys. I just talked to head coach Ted Nolan before the start of this period. He said the sluggish start where the Sabres were getting caught in their own end a little bit was due in large part to the guys not being able to get off the ice. There was a lot of times when their shifts were just too long and the guys were tired and getting pinned in their own zone. He also said the Sabres seemed very tentative in that first period, which is something they've consistently done with Steve Shields in the net, and he told them not to be, to go after it like they did in Game 3. Let's go back upstairs to Rick and Jim.
Yeah, Rob Ray was talking to me about that this morning. They felt with Dominic in there, he said, we just take him for granted and maybe take the odd offensive chance that we shouldn't take. He said he expected with Steve Shields in there that they try to tighten up defensively, but often that works against you, as Ted Nolan just told Dennis, where you do become tentative.
Schmelik now banking it around on the boards, and that ends up skittering down the ice, and Burridge tumbles right over top of Duchesne. Fired around for Chorsky. Chorsky doesn't get it out. They'll kick at it to keep it in there. Finally, it pops out to center. Schmelik trying to tip it in the other direction, loses control, and Zhitnik helps him out. Zoltak on him, but Zhitnik got away from him. Fired it across ice, didn't get it out of there. Ottawa holding it in with Alfredsson. Alfredsson tapped it back in the other direction. Now it's sent behind the net. Alfredsson racing after it again. Keeping it in for Zoltak. Zoltak in the corner, drops it off. Schmelik bumps into his man and goes down. Held in with Chorsky. Chorsky drops it off in the corner for Zoltak. Zoltak trying to get free. And it's tapped back in again. Tipped in. Now knocked away, but not out. Ottawa holding it in. Alfredsson to Chorsky. Couldn't get it in front. Sabres break it up and scooted ahead to center to Audette. Audette just rolling one in, and he's jammed out of the play by Pachanik. But this will end up being icing against Buffalo.
Steve Duchesne, out of all the Senators, plays the most. And he's up at around 30 to 35 minutes in some games. Look at that. He most likely will be over 30 again tonight. And that's a lot of ice time for anybody. Usually the defense, they play more than the forwards. But Duchesne is the guy who they really depend on back there. He plays in all special teams plus a regular shift, and he's done just an outstanding job for Ottawa.
After the icing, the Senators have the puck on the Buffalo end, clearing it in front. That's kicked away, but not out. Ottawa holding it in. Van Allen gets tied up by Plant. Bugner rolled it around to the boards. Pitlick kept it in. Now it pops up in the air, and Plant wheels it away to center ice. Chatan sailing one into the corner. Hudnut playing around on the boards again. It's jammed free in the corner. Here's Grosek being knocked down after it again. Grosek and Pitlick mixing it up. Plant comes up with the puck. Backhand shot. Dribble just wide of the net. Recovered by Lokinen, who fires it around. And Cunningworth took a bump but cleared the zone. Galley scoops it to the line, and Van Allen brings it in offside. Hurry right now. Get your season tickets for next year. The season ticket hotline is wide open. And sales reps are standing by to take your call at 855-4130.
Well, again, the line now, Primo, May, and Ray on the ice. This line really did a great job in the opening period. And physically, tonight, I don't think that Jacques Martin has anyone to counter with. You remember in the first 3 games of the series, they had Radek Bonk, Lambert playing, and then they'd switch up on the other wing. But here tonight, Jacques Martin physically cannot match up against this line.
Shoveled back through the middle and recovered now. York tapping one in. Shannon lets it around behind the net and got away from a check tossed at him by Crow. May turning in the corner. He squirts it out in front to Primo, who hooks it up to Ray. Ray chips it to center. York knocking it down. He dribbled it out over the line. Crow recovers and put it right on to Wilson's stick back for Shannon. Shannon across to Wilson. To Shannon again. Shannon's still retreating now. He fired it through the middle, but Redden takes it back. Redden whipping it in over the line. Shannon in the corner, leaving it to Wilson. He lost it back behind the net. Primo trying to steal it away. Can't do it. Came in front and Duchesne fanned on it. Now Shannon stepping to center with a long pass. Got away from Ray. Ray charging into the corner and bumping with Duchesne. Held in there by Buffalo as Primo moves up on the play. Ray knocking over his check, but play is called on the wall. Ray and Buchanan with an extra shove at one another still. No score on Empire.
What do you want in a truck?
You're looking at power, room. That's what I want.
Chevy S10 has more power than Ranger for $577 less.
I couldn't believe it. Me leasing a truck.
Ladies and gentlemen, the doors.
The rugged new Chevy S10, the only compact with an available third door. And now $1,000 cash back on every new S10. Or choose low 6.9 financing at your local Chevrolet dealer.
What do I want in a truck? Me. As long as it's this truck.
3.5 minutes have expired here in the second period at the Corral Center in game number 4.
Ron Tucknut with just 5 shots on goal, but that's not unusual. The Sabres do not get, of course, we know, a lot of shots, but they certainly would need more offense going. Steve Shields at the other end with 13 saves.
Well, Buffalo needs more than 0, and that's how many they have in their second period. Like back half good as you take a look at those defensive zone turnovers. Knocked down at center ice, tipped in the other direction. Zhitnik getting it back. Zhitnik tipping it up. Ward will deflect it in. Tucknut drops it off in the corner. Shan squeezing it around to Buchanan. He'll work it around for Chorsky. Up ahead now to Zoltan coming through the middle. Zoltan hitting the Buffalo line, leaving it back there. Tapped in front of the net, but taken away by Zhitnik. They chop at it again. Alfredson holding it in to Chorsky. Feeds it behind the net. Shields is there to ring it around in the other direction. And now it squirts free, and it's tipped across ice right under the stick of Daw. Daw with Grosek going with them. Daw in over the line. Gets checked. Goes after it again. Left it for Pekka. Pekka shoots one. Tucknut got a piece of that. Grosek leaving it to Pekka. Pekka rolling around on the boards. Drops it off for Daw to Grosek. Grosek spinning around back there. Bothered by Zoltak, but he's still got the puck. Grosek tried to wheel it back to the point. Ran into the referee. Grosek leaving it to Daw. He'll tap it back into the corner. Duchesne whipping one across to Chorsky, who's challenged by Schmelik. It's fed to center ice to Alfredson. Alfredson coming in over the line. His teammates are changing. Alfredson looking for a trailer. Clears it across. A shot Shields the save. And it's gloved away by Schmelik, who can't get it out. McEachern keeping it in there. Poke back for Yashin. Yashin tied up, spinning away, trying to get free. Gave it to McEachern. McEachern in the corner, looking out in front. Here's McEachern around behind the net, trying to stop it in the short side. Shields stayed with him. Banked off the glass. Pitlick coming up with it at center ice. Pitlick trying to work it back in the other direction. Does to Falk. Falk in over the line, feeding it in front. Back to Pitlick. Check from behind by Chatan, who picked his pocket. Chatan, long pass up in the wing to Flint. He's checked at center. Here's Bonk feeding it ahead. Flint took it back. Oh, and then he just missed on a pass to May. May charging into the corner. Clear on it. Pitlick got a piece of him. Buffalo keeping it in. Pitlick gets it back. Pitlick checked in the corner by Flint. They'll go to the boards together. Plant trying to kick it free. Rung around on the other side. Shannon took his shot and found glass. Galley pinching in there. Galley right in front of the net again. It's chopped back into the corner. Oh, and then Yashin took a run at Galley, who saw him coming and got out of the way in time. Plant kicking at the puck. Looking at the Galley. Checked by Bonk. Bonk flipping it out and back into Buffalo zone. Both teams trying to make a change here. Shannon turning around. His pass up the middle to Ray. Ray tapping one in. May charging in over the line. May keep it in there, but it's not free and comes all the way to center ice. Dave racing after it. That's broken up. Carrying on Van Allen to Cunningham. And it's pulled back.
I believe they're saying it was a hand pass. Although I'm not certain myself, but the Senators certainly.
Signal. That's what I was waiting for.
They don't think the whistle should have blown, but Ottawa, moments ago, some pretty good pressure. McEachran, one of the faster skaters on the ice, is pretty good at going around behind the net and trying to put it in the short side. Steve Shields knew that, though, and was there in plenty of time to make the stop.
York will zip one in. Cunningworth taps it back behind the net for Diggs. Trying to get it in front. That's taken away. Pekka up the middle to Daw, but Daw can't get it out. Shot by Cunningworth. Kicked off into the corner. Wugner tied up with his man. Cunningworth after it again. Hit by Pekka, and it slides down to Zhitnik. Zhitnik tapping it to Ward. Ward coming through center, trying to get it to Pekka. Too far for him. Ward carries on and over the line, and Pekka couldn't get out in time.
Now, one thing when you're at this stage of a series, Buffalo up 2-1, you have to start smelling a series victory. And this game tonight, if Buffalo wins it, I do not believe Ottawa can come back to defeat the Sabres.
Well, quite simply, they'd have to win 3 straight.
That's exactly right, and 2 of them would have to be in Buffalo. So the point is, the Sabres have got to get hungry. They have to develop that killer instinct. And so far here in this period, they haven't shot on goal.
I still think this series needs a little dust-up.
I think so, too. Real.
Keep everybody honest. Senators, Pitlick. Fired that one right into the Buffalo bench.
But you know, we've been discussing this, so there hasn't been a major penalty in this series all season long, and there aren't too many players who want to dance with each other out there tonight again. Lambert is not playing. Jacques Martin decided to go with Phil Crow. He'll mix it up too, but Ted Nolan, you know, one thing that he's concerned with is the discipline on his club. This team has taken too many penalties up until tonight, and tonight they're playing much more in control of themselves. And guys like Brad May and Rob Ray are really not out there looking for it.
Tipped away, and Wilkinen will give it to Pitlick. High in the air, Wilson knocking it down at center, took out his check. It's chopped down at the line, and May comes back. May into Ottawa territory, getting around Pitlick. May's got it again. Pitlick runs it. Now they'll jam in the corner. Primo recovering. Primo took a hit from Crow. Primo and Crow along the wall. Here's May trying to pry it free again, and they're going to end up getting a face-off. Then Crow tosses a punch at Primo, and that brings everybody into the mix in the corner.
Now, Mick Magoo's got to let the players play the puck along the boards. He's blowing the whistle too quick, which is an advantage for Ottawa, particularly when the Primo line is on the ice.
Beauty pools are the finest pools you can own, but not everyone knows that beauty pools can actually be affordable.
We can build a very attractive pool for in the $16,000 range.
It's true that the finest pools of the finest homes in Western New York are beauty pools. But it's also true that not every custom in-ground beauty pool has to have waterfalls. In fact, you can have a beauty pool for only a little bit more than an ordinary pool. And for that little bit more money, you get a lot more pool that lasts forever.
Face-off in the Ottawa end. Less than 13 minutes remaining here in the second. Buffalo still doesn't have a shot on goal in this period. Senators have 4. Zoltak flipped it around on the boards, and Grosek came in to take his check out. Schmelik back at center. He's twisted around, but he tipped it off the board. Shatan inadvertently knocked it down, but Schmelik takes it away to center. Schmelik made a move, but got taken off his wheels, and back come the Senators in over the line. Alfredson fires in front. That's knocked away by Shields. Cleared, but not out. Kept in by the Senators again. Hook back ends up going to center ice. Now Buchanan. Doing it. Duchesne wheeled it through the middle. Schmelik steals it away. He'll tap one into the corner. Buchanan hustling in there after it. Cutting up way on the net. He left it. Now it's kept in by Buffalo. He's in front. Went with a shot. That's knocked down right in front again. And it's cleared by Ottawa all the way down the ice. And Buffalo's best opportunity of the period, I don't believe he even ends up with a shot on goal.
Now, Ron Tugnutt almost got caught behind the net. He did momentarily. The Sabres got the puck to the front. Michael Grosek is so strong. He gets parked around that net or goes into the corner. It's tough to take him off. Here's Grosek behind the net with some help from Shatan, and this puck comes out to Derek Plant. And that was a shot on goal. You see that Tugnutt already was down on his knees, and that's why the Sabres, too, are trying to go up high. And that came awfully close to going in the net, and they still haven't counted it as a shot on goal, so we might as well just forget about shot clock.
This one's in a time capsule.
Yeah, it's stuck on 5, and looks like it's going to stay there. There's some line juggling going on. Ted Dolan tried to get Daryl Shannon onto the ice, and Jacques Martin, that's what he's upset about. He's saying, I've got to change, and don't allow Buffalo to get the players they want on the ice.
Easy, Jacques.
Yeah, boy. Don't see him show too much emotion.
Those lips. There's Galley holding it in. Oh, and he couldn't control it. And it's taken back by Yashin, who doesn't get it out. Pekka holding it in. Tugnutt flips it to the corner. Ward takes out his check. Daw after it again. Daw and Yashin charging away. Round to the boards it comes. Pekka unable to keep it in. Shipnick being trailed by McEachern. Shipnick up the middle. Back comes Daw. He'll flip one in. That's clear for York. York takes it back into Redden. Redden took a hit, but sends it back down the ice, and Shipnick races after it. It's by Yashin pulling away behind the net. He'll feed it on, but it's tipped high in the air all the way through center. Lokinen chops it in the other direction. And picked up by McEachern, and he gave it away to Shipnick. Cross for Galley. Galley takes a peek, leading it up to Ward. Ward dealing it back again, but it got away from Shipnick. Now here's Galley carrying on. Galley's pass in over the line to Ward, spinning around to get away from Pitlick. Ward still got it. Gets away from him. Ward in the corner. There's Dixon Ward spinning again. Still got the puck. Ward across now to Bugner. Bugner feeds it in to Daw. Daw tucks it back in. Now it comes back to Bugner again. Bugner floated one right off. Rebound. Daw can't pick it up. Schmelik moves up in the play with a shot. Deflected in front again. Here's another shot. That's tapped into the corner. Daw and Pitlick after it. Around to Pekka behind the net. Right out in front. That's don't away. Cleared off the boards. Not out. Schmelik holding it in. Giving it to Pekka. Pekka flips it in front of the net. And it's kicked away by Lokinen, who got it to center ice to McEachern. And McEachern clears it to the Buffalo line. Taken back and fed out through the neutral zone. Hooked into Ottawa territory. There's a penalty coming up here. And it's going to go to Buffalo, I believe, but the sticks come up in the corner momentarily. Well, who is going?
Well, it's a slashing penalty.
It's Ottawa.
It's Ottawa is going to get penalized, and Lokinen will go to the penalty box. A great shift by Pekka, Daw, and Ward.
Well, I'll tell you how confused the players were on the ice, and if I sound confused as to who got the penalty, neither goaltender left the net.
Now Buffalo with their second chance this evening on the power play. And on the first chance, Ted Nolan had Michael Pekka back on the power play along with Shatan. See if we can pick up the penalty. Here's the slash right there, and that's a major slash, and Donald Adet in an undisciplined penalty, something that Ottawa was not guilty of too often throughout the season. So the Sabres send Burridge, who has been one of the scoring stars of the series with 3 goals. Holzinger and Adet up front.
As they drop the puck halfway through regulation and no score. Galley working it up on the wing. It'll be whipped across ice now. In over the line. Holzinger flips it around behind the net. Adet in the corner. He squeezes it back in the direction of Holzinger. Rolled around on the boards. Shannon pinching in. Shannon. Galley whips it in. One. Then the shot right on the rebound. Right in front of the net. And Tugnutt hangs on to that. And now we get the lumber coming up again as Cunneyworth and Holzinger were involved.
Buffalo likes to work the puck down low to Donald Adet. And Adet is having trouble scoring goals. He's frustrated. He knows that's what he has to do. Watch to the right of the screen. This is a nice play here by Shannon. And Galley spots Donald Adet. And Adet with the quick shot, but pretty good stop, wasn't it, by Tugnutt, as Tugnutt read the play and was there in plenty of time. Donald was really not in a good angle to shoot the puck. He was too far off to the side, but he's such a good goal scorer that sometimes he'll shoot from there and it goes in. Last goal, March the 30th, for Chicago.
And then a penalty to look at it. Pitlick will drill it, but not get it out, and went off Burridge back in along the wall. Pitlick with another try. Shannon keeping it in, staring it over for Galley. Galley hacks at it. That just made it out over the line. And it's tipped up ahead now to Alfredson. Well, and Shannon picked it away from him. Shannon guiding it ahead. Adet coming in. He lost control of it. He's in front. Pitlick taking off the puck by Burridge. Burridge slinging it back to Shannon. Shannon across now to Galley. Kept it in now to Holzinger into Adet. Adet cycling around. Back to Galley. Shannon fires one wide of the net. Holzinger giving it to Adet. Adet turns in the corner. Slid free. Came in front. Picked in by Buffalo. Back to Galley. Galley rolls it off now to Adet. Adet trying to set up the plays. Got Holzinger instead to Galley. Adet fires one. Rips it wide. Tipped around on the boards. Galley keeping it in. In front. Adet. The shot right on. Tugnutt to save. Pitlick falls in the corner trying to cover it up on the puck. Alfredson goes tumbling in there and play is called. And a great opportunity for Donald Adet.
An excellent goaltending by Ron Tugnutt. Of course, he's very much aware of where Donald Adet is. I mean, if you're a goalie and you know that one of the better goal scorers in the opposition is on the ice, you're going to know where he is. And Tugnutt, watch him move laterally, and they're in plenty of time as Adet one-timed yet another one. So the Sabres showing us an excellent power play with good puck movement, but they cannot score. 31 seconds remaining in Lokanen's penalty.
Buffalo has put on great pressure with this man advantage, but have not been able to crack Tugnutt. Held in now to Schmeling. Schmeling had to bank it off the boards, but he gave it away. And they're down to 20 seconds remaining in the power play. Zhitnik throws out the anchor behind the net. Now he'll work it out himself. Cuts away through center, drills one in just wide off the boards. York finding the glass. Schmeling keeping it in though, stuffs it down low. Plant circles back. There's Plant. Trying to whip it in front, deflected wide of the net. Zhitnik moves in there. Ottawa back at full strength. Roshik leaving it along the wall. Comes free, sent in the other direction by Shatan, but the Senators pick it up and clear it right through the middle. So this will turn out to be an icing, but Ottawa weathers the storm. No score still on Empire.
There was a time I had trouble getting around. I had to depend on others to help me. Now it feels great to have independence with a Rascal scooter from Electric Mobility.
If you or someone you know needs low-cost personal transportation, call this number for a free catalog on Rascal 3- and 4-wheel electric scooters. The Rascal is so easy to operate, you can control it with just one hand. Plus, your Rascal is portable with a unique take-apart frame. Take advantage of our money-saving offers, easy payment plan, free test ride, and see if you qualify for partial or, in some cases, full medical insurance reimbursement. Call for a free catalog and to learn about our money-saving offers. You can even arrange a free, no-obligation test drive. Call toll-free 1-800-781-6767. 1-800-781-6767. Call now. 1-800-781-6767.
Well, these two teams can't score any goals. This fellow looks like he's scored a few calories in his life, hasn't he?
Hope he's got his belt done up tightly there. I'll tell you,
Well, as we look around the other two games in the NHL, Pittsburgh trying to stave off elimination with a 3-1 lead over Philadelphia in the second period. And we're told that Wayne Gretzky has all of the Ranger goals in their lead over Florida. Duchesne flinging it around on the boards. It'll be jammed away. Chorsky tipped it through the middle. Alfredson trying to get free. Alfredson winging one off into the corner. Pekka catches up with the puck. Flips it for Daw. Daw chipped it to the blue line. Not out. Kept into Zoltak. The shot! And he wrinkled that one wide. Around on the boards. Not out again. Alfredson keeping it in. Here's Alfredson shoving on. And Shields is there to make the save.
Buffalo undisciplined in their own zone. The Sabre defense getting caught out of position. And twice scoring chances, and the first one by Zoltak. Here it is. He missed the net on this. Or did he? Maybe Shields got a piece of it from that angle. And here's the second one. Zipnik got caught, and Daniel Alfredson could not beat Steve Shields, and no loose puck, no rebound, and Shields continues to do the job tonight for Buffalo. He was saying, so much pressure because everyone expects him to play like Dominik Hasek. And he said, Dominik's the best goalie on the planet. He said, nobody can play like him.
Pretty good impersonation so far tonight.
It sure is.
There's Galley now running McEachern into the boards heavily. Bugner flips it ahead. That'll roll to the line. Not out! Yes, it came out and back in again as Ray collides. Back at the blue line.
That's with Picklick, yeah. Of course, they've been going at each other the whole series. Lance Picklick reminds me a lot of Craig Ludwig, who plays for Dallas. He even looks like him, but both players are tough, and they have a real mean streak in them. And that fella right there, Picklick, is very difficult to knock off the puck. He is the toughest of the Ottawa defensemen.
We'll do it again, and Galley comes up with it. For Zipnik. Zipnik using the boards to send it to center. Jam back in the other direction. Checkern can't get anywhere. Galley feeds it ahead. Primo taken out, but here comes May in over the line. Lines up. Woody fired that one way wide. Ray kicking at it to keep it in there, and he got slashed down to the ice. And Ray is somewhat the worse for wear. He got slashed by McEachern. There was no penalty called. Boy, McEachern gave him the lumber pretty good.
Now, Rob Ray, skating into the zone, attempted to kick the puck back into the corner. And I'm sure that's what he's talking about. That I got slashed. Why wasn't there a penalty? And Rob Ray still down on the ice in the corner. Let's see if we can pick it up on the ice. So watch Ray kick at it, and there's the slash across the knee, and down goes Ray. And sometimes, even though you're well protected, right up where that knee and shin pad come together, there's a vulnerable spot in your leg, and I'm sure that's exactly where he got hit on that. And Galley is questioning Magoo. That was, as we could see from the replay, a slash, but Magoo deemed it not severe enough to call a penalty, or he didn't see it, perhaps. Here's another look. Watch the one-handed slash, and down goes Ray. So McEachern got away with one on that play. I'm surprised that Jacques Martin hasn't used the Yashin line more here tonight. I know he's worried about some of the Sabre lines, but I think Yashin's got to play more. He's your best player. He's a guy that leads the team in points in this series.
Head ahead for Buchanan. Ripping one in, tipped around on the boards. Gardner keeping it in there. Sent back behind the net. Rolled into the corner. Galley trying to take out his check. Dackel and does. Gardner coming over to help out. Dackel goes down, so does Gardner. And Galley comes up with the puck. Galley flipping one, goes to center ice to Audette. Swings it in over the line. A pass in front, didn't get back to Audette. Burridge tried to hit him. Ends up sliding back through center. Wilson will tip it across to Bugner. Bugner at far center. He flipped it through the middle. Dave stealing it back. Here's Dave coming in over the line, taking his shot. Shields has got that one, and he will hang on. And now Bugner in front of the net, suggesting to Andreas Dackel that that's about close enough.
One of our keys throughout this whole series has been neutral zone play. In other words, don't turn the puck over in the neutral zone. Well, here it is again. Buffalo attempting to move it in. Daig picks it back. And the Ottawa Senators on the attack end up with this scoring chance because of that neutral zone turnover. And that was a difficult save because Shields didn't get a good look at it. Wilson sets the screen, and I believe that puck deflected off the Buffalo defenseman.
Ottawa's 17th shot on goal. Buffalo has 11.
Well, what a great job this guy has done again under intense pressure. Steve Shields continues to play great in nets for Buffalo in place of Dominic Hasek.
Alfredson back to the point. Long shot, and Shields saw that one coming all the way off the stick of York.
You know, you're going back to those turnovers. You saw 5 for Buffalo, only 1 by Ottawa. It's more important that the Senators don't turn the puck over because Buffalo is a much better team on transition and going on the attack. But Steve Shields was talking this morning about how much he's learned from watching Dominic Hasek, how he prepares for a game, how he moves in the net, how he focuses on the puck.
Free in the circle, kept in by the Senators. That's swept back into the corner for Alfredson. He'll bank it off the boards. It's tapped away, and the Sabres get an opportunity to bring it out and do, but a pass eluding Chatan. Redden charging back after it. Flipped it on the board. Shannon keeping it in. Chatan looking in front of the net. Squeezed out by York, got it in front. But it's taken back and poked around on the boards. That'll come to center ice. Wilson hustling over and banking it back in the other direction. Chorsky had it in his skates, leaving it to Zoltak. He feeds it in. Chorsky after it. Chorsky cleaned in front, and it's hit wide by Alfredson. Kept around on the boards and sent back to center. Pitlick recovering. Pitlick flipping it back in again, and this is an offside. And whoa, that was awful close to being intentional.
That could have been easily waved down to the far end of the rink for a face-off in the Ottawa zone. So some liberal decisions that time by the linesman in favor of Ottawa. Mike Wilson continues to play with Daryl Shannon and continues to do well. And that's a pretty telling statistic. Plus minus is something that coaches pay a lot of attention to. Of course, it doesn't always tell the story, but it is a pretty good gauge in many instances. The plus is when you're on the ice for an even strength goal. A minus is when you're on the ice for a goal scored against you at even strength.
And now we're down to 5 minutes remaining in the second period. And back in the corner, Zhitnik will collect it and whip it around to Schmelik. Schmelik's pass through the middle, too far for Pekka. Pitlick going after it. Buffalo's changing up. And around behind the net, Ray is all right. He's back out there again. The pass led all the way back into the Buffalo end. Zhitnik will get there first. And Daig took a dive and looks at the referee, and Magoo said, "Oh, no, not this time." Still no score.
In the narrow margin between his own reflexes and the pitcher's best move, the base stealer stalks his prey. Becoming one with the pitcher's rhythm, he looks for a weakness, a tell, a twitch. And then bam, he strikes like a cobra, turning walks into doubles, doubles into runs, and his knees into blistering scabs.
Move on to the Red Sox battle the Baltimore Orioles, Thursday at 7:30 on Empire Sports.
Now, Mick Magoo, the referee, is out there directing traffic now, telling the coaches who's got the last change. And obviously it's Ottawa. It's their home game.
Well, they sure took their sweet time, though, didn't they? Yeah. Buffalo had the Pekka line. Well, actually, it's Pekka, Brad May, and Dixon Ward. And again, I think Ted Nolan's doing a great job back there. Yashin is on the ice, and the Sabres get the matchup, I believe, that they want. And because Yashin's got to play, so sometimes...
Who's May chirping at? He's yelling at
everybody. Anybody who will listen to
I think so. Everybody in section 220. Ward keeping it in, swinging it around on the boards. Smellick trying to pinch in to hold it in there. Does. It's tapped back into the corner. Pitlick takes it away. Behind the net as Ward stepped into his check. Out cleared up the middle. Deflected through center ice and back very quickly. Ward. Shitnik running a pass across. Pekka will tap it all the way back to Alexei Shitnik again. Round on the boards. Tap free. Not out. Pitlick keeping it in, but it's knocked down, and the Sabres get it out now, and now there's a penalty called, and it will go to Buffalo.
An elbowing penalty, says Magoo, and Pekka is the guilty one. And now let's go downstairs, and here's Dennis Williams.
Thanks, guys. Coming up in our second intermission, Game 3 hero Dixon Ward will be our guest. Our friends at Hockey Hotline, Mike Robitaille and Brian Blessing. We'll also have an NHL playoff update, and Rick and Jim will take a look back at this second period. We're hearing some loud chants. Let's go back upstairs.
Well, I think they should get some security down to the Buffalo penalty box area. There are two guys up there beside the glass, and both of them were rocking the glass back and forth. Neither of whom belong down there, and they're being studiously ignored by any security people here in the Corral Center. I'm not talking about those fellas behind the bench. They're just having a good time. I'm talking about the one down in the aisleway, off to the side. And he's still there. One of them is still there. He still hasn't gone back to his seat.
Here's a penalty. It was called elbowing as Pekka just drilled Pitlick. I don't think Michael had much of an argument on that one.
Cleared in now. Galley trying to knock it free behind the net. Goes after it again. Runs right over Pennyworth. But Pennyworth has the puck. Zoltok back to the point. Shot deflected. Rebound from the outside of the net. Kept in there again by Zoltok. Came in front. Pennyworth can't get the shot on. And it's fired down the ice. Ottawa recovering again. Wheeling it through the middle. That's cleared right on Shields, and he sends it away himself in the other direction.
That's one of the advantages with Shields in there. Great handling the puck. He helped himself.
Off the middle. Senators bringing it in over the line. That's kicked away. Taken by Ward. High in the air into Ottawa territory. A little over a minute left in that power play now. It's tapped up ahead. Yashin being chased around by Burridge. Yashin halts behind the net to get rid of Randy and gives it to Lokinen. Lokinen through the middle. He'll send it back. And get it right back again from York. York whipping one in, around on the boards. Ottawa holding it in. It pops free, rolls into the corner. McEachern, he gave it away to Burridge, and Burridge takes his time. Now Burridge trying to get a breakout going. Here's Burridge in over the Ottawa line. Offside as he couldn't get it to Shitnik, and Shitnik was zooming down the wing.
What a smart play, though. But there's the advantage of being a veteran, having playoff experience. Randy Burridge made a terrific play right from the Buffalo end of the rink and just waited and waited instead of going into a panic and getting rid of the puck. And the timing was just off as Shitnik read the play and jumped up front. But Steve Shields has been giving Buffalo this kind of goaltending. A rebound, though, was bounced off the side of the net by Zoltok.
Shannon taking his time. He'll just ease it in. Under a half minute remaining in the power play. Worked ahead to Lokinen. Lokinen gaining center ice. He feeds it in. Shields traps it behind the net for Schmeling. Around on the glass. Lokinen keeping it in. Hooks it back in along the wall again. It comes to the corner. Yashin being bothered by Shannon, who took it away. Oh, he gave it nicely to Schmeling up the middle to Holzinger. Holzinger feeds it on the wing. Here's a chance. Stop busting in. And gets taken off the puck at the last second. Still fighting for it behind the net. Finally taken away, and Buffalo's back at full strength. Lokinen coming through the middle. He works it ahead. Yashin gets hammered along the wall by May. Recovered with Schmeling. Schmeling tried to leave it and hit the back of the net. He right out in front. Knocked down. Rebound swept away. Yashin fires one up the side of the net. Shannon chips it. Britton keeping it in there. Poked it back into Yashin again. Yashin turning, keeping it in. Ottawa, the pressure on the shot. Shields has got that one, and he holds on for a whistle.
Well, that all began with Daryl Shannon and Richard Schmelik getting mixed up in the Sabre zone, and Yashin, who has really shone in this playoffs and has shown what a world-class player he is, ended up with the shot on Steve Shields. 1 minute 42 seconds to go here in the second period. Watch what happens. Here's the play I was talking about. Is Shannon and Schmelik, who don't normally play with each other or are paired with each other, end up making this play. And the Senators gain control of the puck for a couple of scoring chances. And in a situation like that, when the players come to the bench, the coaches don't have to say anything. The players know exactly what happened.
1 minute and 42 seconds remaining in the second period. Ottawa keeping it in. York trying to go down low. Got it in front of the net. Came back and a long shot. Shields made the save. Oh, Galley getting tangled up with tackle in the corner. Van Allen pries it free. Van Allen bothered from behind. Scoops it back to tackle. He lets it go to Gardner, who gets checked, but it goes to Van Allen. Van Allen being bothered by Zhitnik. They'll jam on the boards again, and Zhitnik takes it away. Get around on the other side. McCann can't get it out. Zhitnik after it again. Zhitnik charging into the corner and picking up the puck, flipped it, and it came free, and the Sabres get a chance now and rolled it out to center. Dumped in over the Ottawa line, but it's swept away. Shatman firing in there to keep it in. Knocks it around on the boards, and Groschick and Van Allen collide. Work to the other side. Back to the point. Wilson with a shot, and he gunned it wide. Senators can't get it out. Dackel turning back in his own end. Rolls it around to Redden. Redden starting away for Ottawa. Buffalo changing the pass in over the line. Gardner, he doesn't get a shot away. No, he whips it in wide of the net. Chwersky going after it, and May takes it away. May to Auden at center ice to the Ottawa line. Drops it back. It's intercepted. Senators coming back. A breakaway pass. Alfredson backhand. Shields makes the save and hangs on.
Now, Donald Adet got too fancy inside the Buffalo zone. Dropped the puck back. Ottawa picked it up. And Steve Shields, again, just brilliant. Now, here's Adet coming in with a quick little fancy drop pass. And, boy, you just can't make plays like that. The quick pass to Alfredson, but he was forced to go to his backhand as it was Schmelik who went down on the ice and prevented him from moving to the front, and Steve Shields covered the angle.
That's Ottawa's 24th shot on goal in this period. Buffalo has 11. 24th shot on goal of the game, I beg your pardon. Buffalo has 11. And we have 18.5 seconds remaining in the period.
And now Michael Pekka is on the ice, along with Daw and Dixon Ward. The Senators have done a good job of winning recent faceoffs in the Sabre end of the rink. Honeyworth will. No, he won't. It's going to be Zoltak who takes the draw.
And winning it, Pekka tapped around on the other side. Ward will let it slide all the way to center. Stolen back. Pekka finally coming up with it, rolling in over the line. And he slips it around behind the goal, but Daw can't get there in time. Back to the point. A backhand is knocked down. Another whack at it, but the buzzer will end the second period.
Well, Steve Shields, the story of the second period for Buffalo. The Sabres giving up too many scoring chances and not getting enough on run Tucknut. So even though the Sabres, of course, I think were outplayed in that 20 minutes, they still can win this hockey game by winning the third.
Well, as it ends up in the second period, Ottawa outshoot Buffalo 14-6. But there is no score as these two teams still consider this at the end of the trail.
I've taught over 5,000 golfers, from beginners to professionals. I can guarantee you that if your grip is wrong, your shot is doomed before you even swing. No matter how expensive your equipment, good golf requires a good grip. That's why this new Condor glove is the most exciting product I've ever seen. Your grip is the only link you have to the golf club. It gets the club face square to the ball at impact. A good grip is the easiest way to add distance, reduce hooks and slices, and cut strokes.
To use the Condor Pro Grip, simply lay the shaft across the colored path, hold tighter where the fingers are shaded, keep the colored knuckles out of sight, and point the arrow at your right ear. That's it. Your grip is consistently pro-perfect from first shot to last, as Darryl says.
No doubt about it. The Condor glove is the easiest, least expensive way to cut strokes ever invented. And all you do is put it on.
Call the number on your screen now.
Sabres playoff hockey is brought to you in part by Brewery Fresh Budweiser, who reminds you fresh beer tastes better. By Discover, it pays to discover. And by Tops Friendly Markets. Tops never stops saving you more.
Well, no goals so far in this game, but we do have some statistical goodies to send your way. Most of it's close.
Now the scoring chances 14-8 for Ottawa. They're noted for not giving up many scoring chances. They held the edge also in faceoffs and in hits. Steve Shields has been Buffalo's best player tonight, turning aside all 25 shots. And you know, he was telling us this morning about Dominic Hasek and how Dom has made him a better goaltender by the way Dominic prepares, by the way he focuses on the puck. And he said it's so wrong to say that Dominic Hasek was not injured. He said if he was injured, he said he's carried us all year. And he says it's because of him that we're not in the position we're in right now.
So here we go with first period play at the Corral Center. And Pekka will shovel one in, and the Sabres will make a quick change. Ottawa's Redden trying to leg it out, and does to center ice, but he's checked from behind by Audette. York covering up to Redden. Redden now fires it through the middle for Alfredson. Alfredson tipping one in over the blue line. Chopped down low. It'll roll around behind the net. Schmelik breaks it up in there. Dead ahead, taken by Holzinger to Audette at center. His long shot that Tudnut just pulls that one and gives to Redden. Redden steers it around on the board. Sabres changing up on defense, and Zoltok coming away. Zoltok leaving it. Alfredson catching up with it in the corner, turning, almost lost his balance, got it to Duchesne, but hit Wilson. Shannon trying to pry it out of there now, giving it to Wilson. Wilson through center ice, dishing one off into the corner, but Chanik going after it. But Chanik feeds it around to the board. Senators coming back, and it's broken up neatly by Ward, almost stolen by Pekka. Looked ahead now, McEachern sending it off the board. Yashin firing it in over the line, and that one will deflect to the wall. Bump takes a bump. And it's kept in there to Duchesne. Took his shot. That's knocked down. Kick, but Duchesne got back again. He fed it in wide of the net. Yashin charging in there after it, pumping with Pekka. And goes Yashin, but the Senators keep the puck in. Left for Yashin again. Yashin, bothered by Shannon. Yashin still got it. Put the shot, and that one goes off of Shannon and out of play. Slide down now and see what Dennis has for us. Dennis?
Thanks, guys. I talked to assistant coach Paul Terrier before the start of this period, and he said he thought the team wasn't as tentative in the second period as they were in the first. He also said the team has played a real good road game so far. He used 3 words to describe what he wants to see in this third period: smart, disciplined, and opportunistic hockey. Let's go back upstairs to Rick and Jim.
And of course, that's been pretty well sums up this whole series, I think, particularly the discipline part of it. You know, Craig Ramsey told me early in this series, he said the team that stays closest and executes their game plan will win the series. And so far, the Sabres have been better disciplined and lead 2-1.
Taken away now to center ice. Buffalo's Bugner rushing the puck. He'll fire one off into the corner. It's kicked around to the board. Shatan reaches for it. Kick free. Kept in by Buffalo. Back to Bugner. Long shot. Right around to the boards. Galley trying to keep it in there and does. Galley will roll it behind the net. Flint racing after it now for Buffalo. Banks it back too high for Shatan. Shatan picks it out of the air. Leaving it for Plant. Honeyworth with a run at him, but Chatan's got the puck. Chatan rolling around again. Chatan still with the puck as Plant got knocked down in front. Chatan still got it. Back to Bugner. He can't keep it in. It's squeezed out to center ice. Senators trying to get away, but it's scooped up again, and Buffalo coming back with Bugner. In over the line. Grosek trying to cut him back. And Prudhomme rebound. Swept away. And flipped out to center ice. Galley works it to Plant. Plant will tip it back in over the line. Grosek charging in there. He does some wrestling with his check. That's Lokinen, and Grosek stripped Lokinen of his hat. And the crowd doesn't like that. Pitlick leading the rush now. Pitlick hitting the Buffalo line. Oh, and Gardner is way offside. Well, Gardner either had to go offside or get wiped out by Pitlick, one or the other.
Yeah, Pitlick, he doesn't rush the puck very much, but boy, he had a good head of steam going down the ice in that play. As Rick mentioned, if Gardner doesn't go offside, the two players collide. Here's Cunneyworth. Remember, we talk about neutral zone, and here it comes again. The turnover in the neutral zone, and this is Michael Grosek on the left of the screen. We talk about him being a power forward. Watch him power his way to the front of the net, and this is a good stop. You see the goaltender almost got caught on the stick check, and that puck came dangerously close to going in because Tugnut committed himself too early. And here comes this line of Primo, May, and Ray onto the ice. And there's a neutral zone turnovers. Ottawa just a couple of times tonight, but they have been dangerous ones.
Ray all tangled up with center ice, gets knocked down. He's tangled up with Dackel. Crow trying to work it in, fed it in front, rolls back to the blue line and out to neutral territory. Pitlick flipping it back in again. May takes it away. His pass through the middle. Pitlick knocking it down. Wait for his teammates to get on side and sends it back to Lokinen. He'll clear it up the middle. That'll deflect right to Zhitnik. A bouncing puck. Zhitnik floating around in front of the net. Now ducks back behind the net. Squeezing it for May. Too high for him. Work through the middle again and sent into the Buffalo end. Zhitnik's got it. Zhitnik will pull away from Bob. Zhitnik got it up ahead to Ray, who can't collect the pass, and it's drilled in the other direction, and that'll be an offside this time against Buffalo. Almost 4 minutes into the third. No score on Empire.
I would like to show you my Discover Card statement by Paul Poundstone. Well, I don't know that my Discover Card statement has changed since I became a foster mom, because I always bought toys. But now, of course, privately, I'm forced to give them to the children. When I was invited to the inaugural ball, I did have to find a ball gown, and I like to think I found a lovely understated little number.
How many credit cards make a statement like that?
I need cash advances. I just need to be slathered in ones and fives.
It pays to Discover. Use it where you see the Nova sign.
Time for a great save, brought to you by 1-800-COLLECT.
Well, it's Steve Shields, who has been terrific. This is Jason York with the opportunity. Shields gets across as Zoltak shoots it off the side of the net.
1-800-COLLECT, the easy way to save. Senators controlling it. Alfredson scooting away to center. He'll flip one off into the corner. Zhitnik getting it around on the glass. Tipped it to the line. Duchesne keeping it in. Hooked it in front of the net. Knocked out. Here's a chance, and it's rolled wide. Schmelik will use the glass this time. And Ward couldn't knock it down. They're back in the other direction. That ends up going in wide of the Buffalo goal. Schmelik around on the glass again, and now Buffalo will be called icing this time. Buchanan hits there first, and he shall ahead of Holzinger. Season ticket holders, don't forget that April 25th, Friday, is the date you must get your renewal in by in order to get your 5% Sabre Bucks rebate. Friday is the last day for season ticket holders.
Now Jacques Martin waits until Buffalo puts their lineup onto the ice, and on comes Yashin. And I'm sure the Sabres will try to get the Pekka line against Yashin. Let's go back earlier in the series, and Jacques Martin in Buffalo said, well, I don't mind playing Yashin against Pekka. And I'm not going to try to get Yashin away from that matchup. But as soon as the series moved here to Ottawa, he did.
Well, he had some extra ammunition then, of course, being the home coach.
Right. He has the last line change. But again,
away at it now, but Shannon pries it free for Audette. High for Burridge. Burridge after it in over the line. Redden catches up with the puck. There's Redden losing it, but it's tipped back into the corner off Audette's skate. York feeds it ahead. That'll come to center to Yashin. Yashin into Buffalo territory, going wide on Wilson. Yashin cleared it in front. Shields to save the rebound. Right in front of the net. Shields grabs a hold of that one in Dominic Hasek-like fashion.
What a save. As Yashin again leads the play into the zone. A couple of the Senators thought that puck was in the net. Steve Shields knew it wasn't. And that's one of the few times that the Sabres didn't go back to the Pekka line matchup, and it almost cost them. Here's McEachran. He thought he scored, but Steve Shields made the great stop. And the score remains 0-0. Look at the concentration by Shields. Well, the puck hit the goalpost. The puck hit the post and flew right across the goal line. Wow.
It was close.
Now we can see why fans were celebrating. As Shields goes down, watch the goalpost to the right.
Can't see it from that
You can't see it. I think goalie pad is in the way. But Magoo is in position and waved no goal. And I think Ted Nolan's got to get Pekka against Yashin at every opportunity, because Yashin is just too strong against particularly that Holzinger line. And they could not contain him when he came into the zone.
We're getting the fans going again, along with some exhortation by the Jumbotron. Yali whipping it off the boards. Rosick lets it slide to center. Duchesne curling around back there, flipped it, and he dumped it right out of play.
Now Steve Duchesne continues to receive huge amounts of ice time. He's their best player. And, Craig Ramsey was telling me earlier that they asked Steve Duchesne to change his game when he came here to Ottawa, to make more of a defensive commitment. And Craig said that is one of the most difficult things to tell a player. Hey, I want you to change your game. And he said Steve Duchesne did. He's been receptive to all our ideas and suggestions, and he's made himself not only a better player, but their best defenseman.
And he's got the puck now, tipping it over to Pachanik. Pachanik feeding it up the middle. That'll be squeezed in over the Buffalo line. Grosek took Daig off the puck. Galley stopping in the corner to get away from Honeyworth. Galley now firing it across ice, and Platt can't catch up with it in time. Hubner took a hit, didn't get it out, got another try, and it's dumped back to Galley. Galley using the boards for Grosek at center. He'll scoop it through the middle. Taken by Chatan. The pass now to Grosek. Didn't shoot. Got another chance, and he ripped it wide of the net. Platt going after it. Got it in front. But Duchesne took it away. Here's Galley ripping a shot that deflects off Daig to center ice. Grosek takes it back to Galley. Sabres are trying to change, and then Galley drills one in wide. Rolled around on the board. Schmelik holding it in there. And he scoops it high, and that one goes out of play. Almost 6 minutes into the third period.
Now this series has been so close throughout this series. Buffalo with a 2-1 lead. Look at the overall playoff comparison. Goals per game down this season. I'm almost 6 to less than 5.5. 7 shutouts. Of course, back in the early 90s, more than 6.5 goals per game scored. Defensive hockey. And 4.3 goals per game in the first 3 games of the series.
That average is being drugged down tonight.
Oh, is it ever? We may not have more than one here tonight. It's got the 1-0 written all over it this game.
Use that old Dizzy Dean word, drugged there. He's tapped into the corner. Pitlick catching up with it. May charges him and bounces off him and goes down out at center. Shipnick taking it back. He gets knocked down. Trying to knock it free. May goes scurrying up on the play. Pitlick's got it. Pitlick attempting to gain center ice, does, and dumps one in. Shields tipping it back into the corner. Dackel recovering now for Ottawa. Dackel trying to cut into the middle. Dackel still got it, and then he promptly gives it away. Schmelik's pass ahead to Ray. Coming with Primo. Jumped in by Ray. Primo interfered with, charging after it again. Poked around on the board. Knocked to Primo, can't come out in front of the net. Turned around on the boards again. Wilson couldn't keep it in and went to center for Shannon. Shannon tipping a pass to May. May in over the line. He takes a bump on the wall, and the Senators will just clear it back through the middle. Shannon recovering, but doesn't get it out. Ottawa bump, keeping it in. Then he promptly gave it away, got it back again. Leaving it to Yashin. He took a shot. Shields had to save. It might have been on the outside of the net anyway, and it's clipped around on the boards, and that will allow Buffalo to complete the change. Head up to Bonk. Bonk turning around. He clears it in. This is icing.
Now, Reddick Bonk put with Alexei Yashin to try to generate some more offense tonight for Ottawa.
Are you looking to get a great workout at a great social setting? Then try volleyball again for the very first time. Volleyball Unlimited is now forming leagues for the beginner through the advanced at all of our 8 convenient outdoor sand locations. Also new this summer are teen leagues. Our beginner leagues will supply you with the coaching that will develop your game and have fun all summer long. Call now to receive our newsletter for locations, rates, and dates. Leagues begin in May and June, so call now to reserve your spot on the sand, 685-3859.
Well, now we're down to less than 13 minutes remaining in regulation time. The Senators and the Sabres are still sawing it off at zeros so far.
I think Magoo has really done a great job tonight refereeing, don't you? He's let the teams decide this. He's let some infractions go on both sides, and he's not interfered in this game in any way.
Well, we're playing over 7 minutes, and each team only has one shot on goal in this period. Here's Zhitnik keeping it in, trying to twist in front, back, and Yelly ripped it wide of the net. Daw picks it off. Daw looking in front. Puts it back. Redden takes it away and scoots it around on the boards and back down the ice. Here's Zhitnik racing after it. So is Chorsky. Zhitnik there first. It's icing. Tom Chorsky gave him a good run for his money.
Alex Zhitnik was telling me this morning he did not feel good before Game 3, and he said one of the reasons is, he says, I was too heavy. And I said, what do you mean too heavy? He said, I was 4 or 5 pounds over what I should have been, and he said, I didn't feel good. My legs didn't get going until the 3rd period, but he said he feels good tonight. Here's an overhead view of that close call that the Sabres had around their net earlier this period. Watch the goalpost. The puck goes off the post and into the pad of Shields. That was... the guys upstairs, the video, they had that same angle. And
boy, oh boy, I'm not so sure.
Oh, yeah.
It almost looked like it was over the line. Back come the Senators now, but Chelik will rip one in. Too high for Shields to pick down. Bank it around on the board. Schmelik scooped at it, didn't get it out, goes after it again. And that one is banked back through the middle. Duchesne feeds it to get it out to center ice, but it's brought right back in again by Yashin, who will drop it off to Buchanan. He rolled it around. Schmelik trying to keep it in, and he does. Tapped it back behind the net. Buchanan rips it around on the boards. That'll deflect away to Gardner. Gardner sending one across ice. Duchesne curls in over the line, trying to cut in front of the net. Kick back into the corner. And around on the boards again, and the Sabres, Holzinger coming up with it. Holzinger to Burridge. Burridge to the Ottawa line. Then he fanned on his pass. It's knocked down at center ice by Audette. Audette scooping one high in the air, in wide of the net. Buffalo completing a change. Duchesne starting away. Worked it as far as center, and it bounces all the way to Bugner. Lokinen going after it. Pushes right on him and nails him. Now it's sent away to center ice. Ottawa coming back again. Tapped in over the line by Van Allen. Yelly coming up with the puck, and Bugner knocked down Cunnyworth, and the crowd is screaming again, but Magoo says nope. Rolled around on the boards. That hit somebody at the Buffalo bench, and that's called.
Now the fans reacting here in Ottawa, but again, Magoo done an excellent job of officiating this game tonight. Both teams playing disciplined hockey.
Make the right decision, insist on Karuba collision. And Michael Krochik, who has been pretty physical in this series. Winds up and labels Yanni Lokkonen in the corner.
Anytime they go into the corners of the rink here, you hold your breath about the glass fracturing.
Yep.
We had it in the pregame skate the other night. Another pane went out this morning.
And one yesterday.
And one at practice yesterday. Well, the face-off will be to the right of the Buffalo net. 11:02 to go in regulation time.
Zoltak and Planter in the face-off area. Zoltak getting it back, and his shot doesn't get through. Dackel will tap it down low. Plant tying up Zoltak and going after it. Brings it around on the boards. Grosek getting all tangled up with Pitlick, and it's shoveled out through center ice. Lokkonen hustling back after it. Racing here. Lokkonen now just fires it out to center. Grosek tipping it back. It'll be gunned in by Shannon. Grosek trying to hold it in there. Pitlick after it in the corner. Got it around to Lokkonen. He'll feed it all the way to center. Shannon got it back and works it over to Grosek. Having difficulty controlling the puck, however. It's knocked down. Comes to center for Dackel. He's taken off his pins by Galley. Shannon chopped at it, didn't get it out. Now he rolls around behind the net. And Shannon for Galley. Galley ducks away, whips it up to Grosek at center, trying to hit Chatan. He'll fire one in. Buffalo beginning to make a change. Alfredson picks it out of the air. Zoltak sending it off into the corner. McEachern takes it away from Shannon. There's McEachern stuffing it down low. Into the corner. Crow gets turned around by Primo. Then Yashin goes firing in there on Shannon. Shannon trying to tie it up. Finally kicks it free. It rolls behind the net. Came back to Yashin again. Yashin taking a shot right in front of the net. It's swept away by May. May ducks out. He tips it ahead. This will slide into the Ottawa end. Primo charging in after it. Tried to hook it out in front with one hand on his stick and couldn't do it. Worked around on the boards, and Ray comes across to pepper Crow with a check. Zhipnik drills it back in, and Crow took a run at him and didn't connect. Now Redden is tagged by Ray, and it slides back into the Buffalo end. Icing this time. Shields leaving it back there for Zhipnik. He'll smack it off the glass, and this will curl its way down the ice and through the goal crease. Vachanik coming up with it. Feeds it into the corner. Daw goes firing in there. Schmelik trying to keep it in, and does! Only couldn't get it to Daw, who was down low. Tipped in by Pekka. Tugnut way out of the net to play it around for Duchesne. Duchesne dumps it on the wall, doesn't get it out. Daw to Ward, trying to clear it across ice, taken away by Dave to center. Dave to the Buffalo line. He takes a shot. Shields has got that one and hangs onto it. And Van Allen and Schmelik are now separated. And Schmelik tumbles to the ice, and that brings everybody in there, except the two Ottawa defensemen who stand back because they don't want the face-off to come outside.
Pizza Hut memo number 24. Kids, well, you dared folks to take the best pizza value challenge, and they did. Boy, are they taking it. You dared them to find a better pizza value for $9.99 than our large one-top pizzeria stuffed crust with the specially blended sauce and the ring of cheese baked right on the edge.
No contest.
And you dared the kids, too. Big mistake. Never dare a kid when it comes to pizza.
That kid just ate 6 slices of pizza.
Pizzeria stuffed crust pizza for $9.99. The real challenge is going to be you making them fast enough.
Well, that fella in net for Buffalo has been pretty darn good. He has not allowed a goal since he first came on in lieu of Dominic Hasek in game number 3. He gave up a goal on the first shot on him. He has not allowed one since. I am referring, of course, to Steve Shields.
Now, he's been the #1 star tonight. He's been the best player for both teams. .8:41 to go in regulation. The Sabres got to find some offense here. They managed only a total of 12 shots on goal. The Senators at this point look like the fresher team.
Wilson will twist it around to the boards and taken by Burridge to center ice. Burridge to the Ottawa line, ducking wide on Duchesne, trying to cut in! And Tugnut held his ground and made the save. Now flipped high. And that one just makes its way over the glass and out of play. Alfredson trying to clear the zone.
Wait, Randy Burridge is so deceptive, isn't he? has, I think, fools you sometime with his speed. And Duchesne is a very quick defenseman. And Burridge almost goes around him. Strong defensive play, but nice play by Burridge as he bowled his way to the front of the net, or attempted to. Burridge with 3 goals to lead the goal scorers in this series. So it's Burridge, Holzinger, and Donald Adet. At this stage of a game, I'm sure the coaches have reminded both coaches that no drop passes. Do not throw the puck in the offensive zone blindly to the front of the net.
Back it comes. Wilson took the shot and ripped it wide. Torski trying to work it out of there, but he can't. Shannon keeping it into Burridge. He gets tied up by York. Redden slips it around on the boards. Here's Wilson trying to pinch in, but it's taken away. 3-on-2. Zoltak in over the line. Drops it off. Alfredson. Alfredson turns. Shields gets taken down. He's out of the net, and the shot goes wide. Steve Shields was taken down. Back to center ice. It's fired back through the middle. Shields has a problem with his pad. He's trying to fix it as play goes on. It's picked up by the Sabres, kept in by Plant. That pops 3. Grosek trying to take it away, can't do it. Yashin picks it off. He's by himself, his teammates changing. Galley and Yashin, they slide to the boards together. Bugner comes up with it. Bugner ripping it around on the glass, bounces. Duchesne kept it in, but it's taken away by Plant. Plant tried to get it to Grosek, couldn't do it. Ottawa starting back, McEachern with his speed. McEachern trying to cut in around behind the net, sends it through the goal crease. Hit around on the other side. Senators hold it in. Bonk drops it off now. Here's McEachern. Bugner in front of him. Kept in, and the shot goes wide by Machanik to the other side of the ice. And Ottawa putting the pressure on now. Yashin and Galley get all tangled up. Bonk trying to pick up the loose puck and does. Bonk coming out in front with a shot. Plant blocked it. Bonk's got it again. Bonk tips it off to Yashin. He's still got it. Yashin turning again. Comes right out in front. That's knocked away. Shields makes the save on McEachern. And McEachern and Bugner have to be separated.
Well, that time Buffalo got caught with the line of Grosek, Chatin, and Derek Plant on the ice against the Yashin line. And Ted Nolan could not get Pekka. And it almost cost Buffalo a goal. Great pressure by Yashin. So strong in the corners. Impossible to take the puck from him when he has it, or almost impossible unless he gives it up. And what another excellent save by the goaltender Steve Shields as Yashin puts it to the front. Look at Shields. Great concentration and focus.
Well, he needs some help, and he's asking for Rick Simonic to come over and adjust his equipment, and Mick Magoo, I don't believe, allowed it to happen. This all came after the collision in front of the net when he was wiped out.
Yeah, and as you were mentioning, partner, when the play was down in the Ottawa zone, Shields had his gloves off, was trying to fix his pad by himself. And he appears to have everything in order right now, but he should just take his time, get a breather, and try to calm down the momentum of Ottawa.
This building is just rocking. Coming around on the boards now. It's tipped free to the blue line by Pitlick. Lokinen catches up with it. He'll squeeze it to Daig. Daig sending it to Kennyworth. That long shot. Shields has that one trapped, and he'll simply hang on to it.
Ottawa just getting everything toward the front of the net. That was part of their game plan tonight. And they said, regardless of whether Hasek's in the net or Steve Shields, you don't change your game plans. Maybe some things like shoot-ins or something against a goalie like Hasek, who is so quick to come out and stop the puck behind the net. But Ottawa just doing the same thing with Shields as they would do with Hasek. Get the puck to the net, send people hard to the net, and hope for a rebound or loose puck.
So we tip to the boards. It's kept in by Lokinen, feeding it around behind the goal. Shields helps it around, but not out. And Dave going after it now. Dave turning around, trying to cut in front. Move it back into the corner. He gets knocked down. Zhitnik didn't get it out, though. Van Allen keeping it in. Now Zhitnik scooping it at center. Ward just failed to get away. Pitlick broke it up. Step back through the middle again and brought it over the line with Daig. Daig left it there. That's recovered by Ward. Ward swinging around again. He sends it to center ice as Van Allen took a run at him. Took it with a shot right on. Rebound, tipped in front of the net. And and recovered by Tugnut, who hangs on. And Ray is right in the middle of everything.
Now, that was Richard Schmelik also in front of the net. I think Richard Schmelik is taking too many chances in this hockey game. He's been up the ice on numerous occasions, and I'm not so sure that's what the Sabre coaches really want. Schmelik is one of their best offensive players. Here he goes, number 42 at the line, and he just continues to go right to the front of the net. And of course, if a defenseman does that, it's up to a forward's job to cover him up.
But on the other hand, on the winning goal by Dixie Ward the other night, there was Schmelik.
Schmelik was
right on the edge of the goal crease.
He was in front of the net with 19.1 seconds to go. I mean, that's playing aggressive when you're on defense. The Sabres have also been pinching their defense here tonight, but they can't get that attack going in the Ottawa zone. And what a great job the Senators have done in front of Tugnut again. It's limiting the Sabres to 14 shots on goal.
Primo and Gardner are the principals in the face-off circle. Half a dozen minutes remaining in the third. Gardner will tap it back. Retton sending it around on the board. The Senators get a chance to advance it with Dackel. He comes as far as center, and he gets taken out, and Shannon coming back, but he's all by himself. He'll whip one into the corner. May trying to catch up with it. Up for York. York got it around on the boards, and Ottawa bringing it out again with Gardner. He'll wheel one off into the corner. Shannon and Dackel charging in after it. And around to Galley. He floats it into May. May twisting and turning back there, but can't get it out. Dackel's all over him. The two number 10s bumping along the wall. Galley is also involved, and now the referee says that's enough of that. And we will have a face-off coming up. No score in this hockey game. Two others being played in the NHL playoffs tonight. One in Pittsburgh and one in New York. And in Pittsburgh, the Penguins continuing to lead Philadelphia in the third period. And now Florida's on the board again, but so far they have not been able to match Wayne Gretzky's 3 goals in that game.
Now, Steve Shields continues to be the #1 star of tonight's game. You know, talking about pressure, I remember something that Billie Jean King, the great women's tennis player, said when one of the writers asked her about pressure and pressure points and pressure matches. She says, I don't consider it pressure. She says it's opportunity. It's opportunity to do something constructive, to do something great. And I think that's what Steve Shields was telling us this morning when he talked to the media. He says, this is an opportunity for me. Sure, there's pressure, but it's a chance to do something good for myself and for my teammates.
Audette tied up with Bonk in the corner. Yashin coming up with it. Yashin. Shane took the shot. Shields the save. And it's tapped out to center ice. Buffalo changing up quickly. And Shane trying to lug it back again. He squeezes it off the boards. Gives it away to Schmelik. Schmelik's pass through the middle to Pekka. Pekka sliding it over the line. Taking it free. Trying to clear it in front of the net. And Ward kicked at it but didn't connect. Albachanik sending it up to Yashin. Yashin is challenged, giving it to McEachern, taken away by Pekka. Pekka for Daw. Daw will slide one off into the corner. Duchesne getting there first, ripping it around on the boards. McEachern tapped it to center ice. Schmelik cleared it back out again, but it's picked off by the Senators and worked to Duchesne. Duchesne off the glass, all the way around to Pekka. Couldn't get it. At the center ice. Ottawa's changing as Luukkonen fires it right back in again. It'll be tapped on the boards. Zitnik knocking down Chorsky. Schmelik reels it around now for Shatan as far as center ice. Pekka got involved, couldn't get anywhere. Shatan dug it free and tipped it in the other direction, trying to catch up with it, but he got slowed down. 4 minutes remaining in the third. Pass across ice to Luukkonen. Luukkonen reaches one around behind the net. Shields trapping it back there, shovels it into the corner. It'll be dropped back for Galley. Dealing it ahead to Groshek. Groshek got it up at center now to Shatan. Shatan over the line. Offside. Eric Plant ruled in ahead of Shatan. Still scoreless on Empire.
Bocchione's got a breakaway. Goes right in goal. He scores!
On April 24th, the Alzheimer's Association of Western New York honors the memory of the voice of the Sabres, Ted Darling. Join them at the 3rd Annual Blue Moon Gala, held in the beautiful Rich Renaissance, as they honor NHL Hall of Famer Ted Darling and raise money to battle Alzheimer's. If you'd like to purchase tickets, please contact the Alzheimer's Association at 716-831-7084 or 800-273-6737.
43 seconds left on the clock here in this third period. And they'll drop it outside the Ottawa line. Senators out shooting Buffalo 2-1. But neither team on the board. York easing it ahead, getting it in over the line. Gage charging after it, gets turned around. Galley slipping it back behind the net. Shannon whipped it around. Shatan after it now, doesn't get it out, goes after it again. It's clear through center, and Grosek just failed to connect. Right back in again, offside Ottawa. And now is your big chance to shine.
Well, we invite you to come and join us in August. At the Jim Lawrence Hockey School, we feature a program for beginners, both at Saberland and the Lafayette Ice Rink, also intermediate, advanced, and girls only. That number, 874-6133, the North Buffalo Community Center. Leave your name and address, and be happy to send you a brochure, and may even have Rick Jenneret as a guest someday.
Couldn't afford me.
You're right. Maybe we can work a deal, though, somehow.
Here's Galley. Going to pick his way free. Does. In over the line. Galley couldn't get it to Holzinger. Came in front, and Audette went racing in there. Kept in with Holzinger. He twists it back into Burridge. Burridge drops it off. Sending it around. Back it comes to Audette behind the net. Out in front. Backhand. Couldn't get it to Burridge. Audette after it again, but it's broken up. And the Senators will send it down the ice, and they will be claimed with another icing call, and that's Buffalo's best flurry in a while.
Yeah, they haven't had much going in the Ottawa zone. Holzinger and Donald Audette with some strong work along with Randy Burridge.
The reason for the cheer in the background, Ottawa 67's, the junior team, has defeated Guelph. Guelph coached by Buffalo native E.J. McGuire. That's Game 7. They won 6-3 tonight, so the Ottawa 67s are going to the Memorial Cup, emblematic of junior hockey supremacy in Canada.
So you mentioned coached by E.J. McGuire. Also, Billy Height's son, Chris, plays defense for Guelph, and he was drafted by the Edmonton Oilers.
They were down in that series, 3 games to 1, and roared back to tie it up, but lost here in Ottawa tonight. Now, 2:53 on the clock. Schmelik trying to get a shot on. Does. Tugged up the save, and he cleared it off to the side. Chopped off the board. Zhitnik will hold it in. Sending it around behind the net as Audette tripped over the referee. Scoop free, and Ottawa to bring it out. Tap back through the middle. Alfredson had to wait. He would have been offside. Zhitnik breaks it up. A spear added on the boards. May went tumbling in there to get a piece of Lokonen. Sent off into the corner. Schmelik catches up with it. Schmelik makes it on the boards. Doesn't get it out. Tackle keeping it in. For Zoltak. Comes free to Audette. And Audette flips it. And that one just goes right out of play.
On a bit of a change here, Donald Audette remained on right wing with Primo and Brad May in place of Rob Ray, who had been playing consistently on that line. 2:17 remaining in regulation. Grosek, Burridge, Plant on the ice. I tell you playing a game like this, things are so tense. Primo moments ago got away with a hit on Alfredson. Alfredson had dropped the puck off, and Primo clocked him.
There's nothing there with the check, though.
No, it's good.
Just didn't see him coming, that's all. So Plant and Van Allen are nose to nose in the face-off area. Redden's shot is right on, and Shields juggles it and drops it off behind the net. Yeah, he couldn't come up with the puck. Burridge taps it around on the boards. Picked off by Galley. Galley didn't get it out. And now it's finally jammed out to center. Van Allen scooting it over to Redden again. Redden watched by Shannon. Shovels it behind the net. Honeyworth went flying in there, but it's rolled back through the middle. Covered by the Senators. Foot free at center ice, and Honeyworth tried to pick it out of the air. Taken by Galley. Galley leaving it back there. Shannon. Tip it up on the wing, and does. But for Galley again, feeding it to the line. Burridge couldn't get away, and now getting knocked down is Yashin, and the crowd really screaming. Yashin after it again. Galley trying to catch up with him. Yashin trying to get it in front of the net, but he was too keen. Shannon came over. Well, Galley running into McEachern, and that's going to be a penalty on Gary Galley.
Now, Galley got away with one on Yashin just outside the Buffalo blue line, and then he hit McEachern from behind, and Magoo sends him to the penalty box.
This comes as a result, I believe, of Gary Galley being at the end of his shift. He was dead tired.
Well, here's the trip on Yashin. That could have been called a penalty. The crowd reacted. You can see the crowd. And the play continues on around behind the Buffalo net. And McEachern's going to get slammed into the boards right here by Galley. And Ottawa with a chance to win the game on the power play.
For those who are new to the game of hockey and are figuring on the 5-minute overtime as it is during the regular season, no, sir. If this one goes to overtime, they play 20-minute periods until somebody scores a goal. But there's 1:16 remaining in the third period now, and Buffalo is shorthanded.
And the most important face-off of the game takes place.
Yashin against Pekka, slipped into the corner. Snellick couldn't come up with the puck. McEachern's got it now. McEachern twisting around again. McEachern drops it off to Yashin. Yashin still with the puck. Yashin trying to find somebody open. 1 minute remaining in the third. Around behind the net it comes. Worked around on the boys. Kept in by McEachern. Sending it down low. Alfredson behind the net to Yashin. Got away from him, but he recovered in time to beat Pekka to the puck. Yashin got it. Clears it right beside the net. But Shields the save. Rebound! And he hangs on to that too. Brother.
What a performance by Steve Shields. Brilliant goaltending as Yashin is so dangerous on the off wing as he maneuvers himself to the forehand and then makes plays like this. What a save, wasn't it? That was Alfredson, one of the better goal scorers in Ottawa. Tried to put it in. Look at the patience of Shields. Strong goaltending. And then he makes another save and scissors the puck under the pads.
45 seconds left on the clock. Holzinger winning the draw. It's tapped behind the net. Lots of time. Pass up the middle. Picked up now by Holzinger. Hitting the Ottawa line. Trying to bust around the outside. Waiting for a trailer. He dumped it back in again. Daw trying to pick it out of the air. Daw doing a good job at taking time off the clock. It comes free to Yashin. Yashin working his way to center. He works it in over the line to McEachern, trying to feed it in front of the net. Tip back into the corner. McEachern's got it again. Wheeling it back for Duchesne. Duchesne to McEachern. He gets checked by Shannon. Out at center ice. Knocked down and carrying on is Shipnick in over the line. Shipnick fires one right on. That circles it and hangs on. And we're going to overtime.
And we certainly are not surprised that this game is going to overtime. Steve Shields, the story up to this point, 33 stops Tucknut with 18. And the next goal wins it here in Ottawa.
And Gary Galley is still fighting for his cause as he comes out of the penalty box and is tripping away with the referee Magoo. So when the overtime period begins, Buffalo will be shorthanded for the first 43 seconds. But this one indeed is tied at zeros on Empire.
Are you looking to get a great workout at a great social setting? Then try volleyball again for the very first time. Volleyball Unlimited is now forming leagues for the beginner through the advanced at all of our 8 convenient outdoor sand locations. Also new this summer are teen leagues. Our beginner leagues will supply you with the coaching that will develop your game and have fun all summer long. Call now to receive our newsletter for locations, rates, and dates. Leagues begin in May and June, so call now to reserve your spot on the sand, 685-3859.
What the folks here in the Corral Center were settling down to the other night when Dixon Ward scored in the 19 seconds to go. The last time the Buffalo Sabres scored a goal in overtime in the playoffs. Oh, brother. Hope it's not going to be another one of these babies.
Into the 7th period. That was a 1-0 victory. Buffalo against New Jersey. And in that game, Dominic Hasek had, what, 70 shots?
Steve Shields has had 33.
Now, Buffalo starting shorthanded here in this overtime period.
40 seconds left in that galley penalty. Tap to center ice now. McEachern feeds it in, but Schmelik is there to clear it out to center to Pekka. Coming with Ward. Ducks in over the line. Ward trying to get it back to Pekka. He was taken down. On the other side, Zhitnik is shoved right on. And Tugnutt makes the save. Zhitnik had a break in there, and now he pounds McEachern. Back comes Lokinen. Lokinen left in his own zone. Then up ahead to Lokinen again. In over the Buffalo line. Lokinen ducking through. Back into the corner. He hits the boards along with Zhitnik, and Lokinen is down on the ice and is not getting up, just as Yashin tries to squeeze around from behind the net.
Boy, Lokinen crashed into the boards along with Zhitnik and didn't move after Buffalo had a wonderful scoring chance in the Ottawa zone. It was Zhitnik who was face-to-face with the goaltender. Here it is as Lokinen maneuvers into the zone. Now, down he goes, and along with Zhitnik, crashes into the boards. And Lokinen is still down on the ice. A clever move to go around Michael Pekka. He might have, like he jammed his shoulder or banged his head against the boards.
There are 6 seconds remaining in the galley penalty.
Of course, when the ice is fresh like this, you slide very quickly. And late in the period, the ice has been cut up. You don't go into the boards nearly as hard.
Lokinen's shaking his coconut now. I think he's okay.
Jani Lokinen, the most consistent of Ottawa defensemen all season, moves to the bench. And 6 seconds remain in the penalty to Galley. Now, Burridge is over there, and this is very important that Galley heads to the right area of the ice. If the play is in the Buffalo zone, he'll stay on the ice. And with Burridge and Holzinger, that means Galley would take up the right wing position. If the play is moving in or in the Ottawa zone, then he will go to the Buffalo bench for a change. And that's what Burridge was over there discussing, just reminding them.
Schmelik catching up with it in the corner. Schmelik's got time, and he sails it down the ice, and now the Senators find themselves off the power play as Galley comes out. Redden feeding it up the middle. The pass off Chorsky, taken back by Schmelik. He finds Burridge in over the line, and Holzinger, and it jumped away from him. Chorsky letting it go now to Zoltak. Zoltak in over the line. He gets knocked down. Look for Alfredson, the shot, and Shields snares that one and hangs on to it.
Oh, what a save by Steve Shields. Again, I mentioned that he's hurt. Ottawa would likely shoot the puck high because Shields does go down, but he's such a big guy that his body covers the upper part of the net often. And that's what Alfredson had in mind. Andrei Trepilov anxiously looking on as Shields is in some difficulty. And onto the ice comes the trainer. Watch the quick wrist shot. I don't know, it's difficult to see where that caught him, whether it was in the neck or shoulder. And Shields seems to be okay. But Alfredson with a very strong wrist shot, attempting to go to the top corner of the net. Shields is sending his mask over to the bench, so maybe that's... No, he didn't get hit in the mask, I don't think.
I think it was up around his shoulder.
Maybe in the
collarbone area?
Yeah, in the collarbone, perhaps. And Rip Simonik at the Buffalo bench, the equipment trainer, working on the mask of Steve Shields. Zoltak was tripped up, and Alfredson carried on. Boy, that puck struck him in the collarbone area, I do believe, and Shields is going to remain in and won't get started again until he retrieves his mask.
Well, you remember the crane they used when they were building the Marine Redland Arena? They would need that same crane to get Shields out of the net right now.
Oh, yeah. After this performance, 34 saves, perfect tonight.
Check out the Sabres homepage at www.sabres.com to find out the most updated information concerning playoffs, season tickets, player profiles, Marine Midland Arena events, and team stats. www.sabres.com.
Jacques Martin is taking an awful long time to get his lineup onto the ice. The Sabres have been out there for some time. There's Lokinen, who had crashed into the boards, and Shields is back, ready to go, recovered.
And we're a minute and 11 seconds into this first overtime. Sabres would like to get above the 500 mark in their playoff effort. Ward scooping it high in the air. This will bubble its way inside the line. Shipped to the blue line. Knocked out. Back in again. Offside.
Dixon Ward is very good at getting the puck out of his zone. And one of the reasons for that is he does backhand the puck well. He often gets it when you play the off wing. You're on your backhand frequently. And Ward has an excellent backhand shot. Or I should say backhand flip shot. He often uses that to get the puck in the zone, and he did moments ago. So Jacques Martin takes the Yashin line off the ice because Pekka is out there. And that's fine from the Sabres' point of view.
Whipped in around, and Tugnut handles it back there for York. York takes a look. Finds Van Allen on the wing. He clears it in over the line. Racing in his Dag, spinning around, dropped it back. York shot blocked by Chatan. Chatan slides it out through center ice. Cleared across to Redden. Tap it right back in again. Fed around on the boards and cleared to an open wing. Chatan charging after it now. Ducks away in the corner. Drop it off back there for Galley. Galley squeezing one out to center. Yashin leaving it to York. York challenged and losing control. Now got it around on the boards. Groschick kicked at it. He got dumped. Yashin can't get it out. And York feeds it around behind the net to Redden. Redden with a long pass through the middle. He hits Dag, but it's called a two-liner on the upside.
I'll tell you, Alexander Dag has looked very dangerous tonight. He has skated well. He has fresh legs. And he has been giving Buffalo defensemen fits because of his quick breakaway speed. And Dag just almost got loose that time, but just a shade offside in the faceoff at the top of the circle. Certainly 51 points, but he was the highest minus player on the hockey club.
Oh, in the league.
In the league, yes, at minus 33.
Another very slow line change by both teams.
That's Holzinger, May, and Audette. Buffalo, they've also gone down to 5 defensemen. Now it's Buchner and Jitnik. Or I beg your pardon, Shannon and Jitnik. That means Buchner has been playing too much here in the third and into this overtime period.
Shannon trying to keep it in. Didn't get his shot away. Goes after it again. Right free in front of the net. That's tipped away. Kept in by Buffalo. A backhand. Right in front. Shot knocked down as Holzinger let it go. Chorsky starts back to Alfredson. Alfredson flipping one in. Shields flipped it away. Came in from the shot. Alfredson finding the corner of the net on the rebound. And Ottawa wins it in overtime.
At 2:34 of the overtime period on the Ottawa Senators' 36th shot. And it begins on a shoot-in. And Tugnut wins it 1-0 here at the Corral Center. Watch the shoot-in. Now, Steve Shields has a problem controlling it. It's Alfredson who bounces the puck. It gets away from Shields. Chorsky fights off Jitnik, And Alfredson sends it into the empty net. And the Ottawa Senators deserve to win this hockey game tonight. They were the better team here in Ottawa.
And they are whooping it up, as you might expect, knowing that this series is now a best-of-3 affair. What is in Buffalo's favor is that if a 7th game is necessary, it would be played at the Marine Midland Arena. But for the moment at least, these folks know that there will be another game back here in the Corral Center on Sunday night, after game number 5 is played in Buffalo on Friday. The Ottawa Senators on the goal by their sharpshooter, Daniel Alfredson, as Yashin is being selected as one of the stars in tonight's hockey game. But it's Daniel Alfredson who squeezes one in just by the goalpost, and he will be saluted now for his 3rd goal in the playoffs, but forget the other 2. This is the big one for the folks here in this building.
Well, Steve Shields could not have done more for his hockey club than he did tonight. He was under constant pressure. Alfredson with the winning goal at 2:34 of the overtime period, but Steve Shields gave Buffalo a chance to win this game, and they couldn't do it.
Daniel Alfredson salutes the fans as he heads to the dressing room, and there'll be a celebration awaiting him there.
There was a time I had trouble getting around. I had to depend on others to help me. Now